What really bothers me about Brock is just a couple of weeks ago, he was out for blood. It was personal to him. But he's already spilled my blood. In 2018, at WrestleMania 34, he busted my head wide open, right here, right here. One right here on the hairline, one across the top of my skull, and I bled all over New Orleans. He smashed my face to the point my children didn't even recognize me. My wife didn't want me in this business anymore. My father doubted me. My family was disappointed in me. And then he comes out here, and it's just a game now. Oh, we're talking about Suplex City. It's a carnival where it's a wedding now. The Titans are going to have babies. It's just a game. Okay, that's all good because the Tribal Chief changed the game. We changed the game, and we're going to take everything from him. You see, I already took his advocate and upgraded him to a wise man. I took his claim to being the longest reigning champion in the past 35 years. I got my receipt, and I took his blood at Madison Square Garden. And this Sunday, I make the final move, and I'm going to take his title. And then, Brock, you're going to know what it's going to be like to make it personal. Because I'm going to make it personal. Because it's always been personal to me.
This is Sabotage, and you're listening to Sit Down Marks Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks Podcast is set for one fall. Introduce first your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the Grip Wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ.
What's happening, my people? It is our time of year. Everyone come in, sit, gather around, wrestling friends, because it is Wrestlemania week. Thank you guys for being here. It's the Sit Down Marks Podcast, of course, episode number 57, the best kept secret in wrestling podcast. Thank you to TW Ward for that spot there, the voice of Memphis wrestling. Right off the bat, whose game is it?
Primo's game, baby! 279 days combined as your two-time, that's two-time, count them, 1, 2, gonna keep it after WrestleMania, gonna be more days of your reigning, defending, Sit Down Marks pay-per-view champion. You wanna see it? You don't believe me? Hello, AJ. There I am. I'm here at Primo's house. I'm gonna stay your champion for as long as possible.
That's right. It's WrestleMania week, one of the big four. So the Kurt Angle Trophy, which is our heavyweight title, so to speak, here on the Sit Down Marks Podcast, is going back up for grabs this week as we are going to be choosing. I think I tallied up about 21 matches this weekend that we're going to be choosing from. Whoever scores the best or picks the most right takes home the trophy. Primo, 2-time champ. AJ, 1-time champ. DB, 0-time champ. So we'll see what happens this weekend, but we'll be talking about that later on. But also, I want to thank our. What's that, buddy?
Don't worry, your time will come there.
My time will come?
Yeah.
Or you could be Razor.
You could be Razor. There are worse things to be.
I could be. Yeah. That secondary title might be more my thing. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. But I want to thank all our sponsors and everybody listening right now on all those podcast platforms out there, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those other ones, and especially on Friday, SportsWire Online Radio is where we are at 6:15, right before the Thomas Bryce Show, and throughout the week. If you love the pod, please go to that platform that you listen to us. Tell a friend. Leave us that great 5-star review on that exact platform that we were just speaking of there. So thank you so much. We appreciate it in advance. And I want to thank Coastland Apparel, our longtime sponsor. Go to coastlandapparel.com. Use promo code BirdTV for 15% off of your order. And also our other sponsor, our guy, Jet Designs, over on Facebook. Check him out, JET Designs, for all your custom car diecast needs. All right, so this is usually the time of day where we have the pop of the pod, boys. But, I think, the pop of the pod, it broke earlier today, right? So we had to bring in...
The pop machine?
The pop machine broke. Yeah, it's out of order. So we're going to retire that old piece of shit, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the new pop of the pod jukebox. Every week, it's going to play a entrance music for us every week.
Just going to spit one of those suckers out.
Yeah, every week it's going to throw one at us, to make us remember those times. It's going to be from the past. It could be from the present. It could be one, on the indies that you might not know that you're going to hear yet on down the road. But you're going to know what it is when they hit. So let's dive in to the old Pop of the Pod jukebox for the first time. What you got for us here today? Fandango. How about it? Fandango out of the old jukebox today.
Remember when he first started, and that's how they said it all the time? Fandango.
Yes, and you had to say it that way too for it to be appropriate. Yeah. Was he the one that beat Jericho in his debut?
In his debut at WrestleMania.
There you go. How about
They had high hopes for old Fandango, which I don't know why his name is fucking Fandango.
And Johnny Curtis. But,
yeah, he had the old dancing gimmick with, what was her name, Summer Rae there for a little while.
Yep, now he's the Dirty Dango.
Now he's the Dirty Dango wrestling.
Dirty Dango. That's so stupid. I love it.
You can see him up in Maine in AJ's favorite town occasionally.
In Yarmouth.
You sure can. All right, AJ, get us rolling, man. What's going on this day in wrestling history and birthdays, my dude?
This day in wrestling history and birthdays. So we have back in 1870, after Dirty got home fighting in the war when they pitted brother against brother. We have James. That's right, the war.
The war.
The war.
The big war.
The 1870, Civil War.
I'm aware.
Yeah. So we have James. Yeah, I have news from 18 goddamn 70. In 1870, on this day, which is March 30th, James H. McLaughlin begins his second reign as American collar and elbow champion in New York City by defeating Homer Lane.
Collar and elbow champion.
As the collar and elbow champion, Homer Lane had no fucking shot. Like, he's just, come on, Homer, go home.
Anybody named Homer never really has a shot at anything. So
no homers. Moving on to 1952, when Dirty Bird was churning the butter and raising barns with his fellow Mennonites. I don't fucking know. Lucky Simonovich defeats Al.
Spell Mennonites, AJ,
with an M and an E.
All right.
Oh, right. Knights.
Completely.
He defeated Lucky. His name's Lucky. I tried to look up his real name, and it was just Lucky. Simonovich, that's right, defeats Al Kashi in Honolulu to win the Hawaii heavyweight title.
Could be a distant relative of Masha Slamovich.
How dare you even talk about the sweet Masha Slamovich?
The bear fighter.
Yes, I can't wait till she fights a goddamn bear. It's gonna be
I'm going to update you on that, guys, later, too. I'm going to tell you where to watch that.
Good, because we're going to watch it. So, moving forward, I have other old-timey ones, but, 2 Dirty Bird old jokes is enough, I feel like.
Woo!
We're going to move all the way to 1998 on WCW Monday Nitro. Chris Jericho beats Marty Jannetty, but who gives a shit about that? Because this is the famous, iconic Man of 1,004 promo. One of my favorite promos of all time because it's hilarious. Arm drag.
Arm drag.
Arm bar.
Arm lock.
Arm bar.
There was no giant Punjabi prison match, and I can't say anything three times fast because there's a good indicator right there. What else do we have today? A whole bunch of WrestleMania matches. That's really like all of it was just WrestleMania matches. Sure. The most notable one I could find is 2010. After he won the Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania 26, Jack Swagger, you of course know him now as
1, 2, all day.
We the people.
We the people.
Fuck off, Jake Hagar. He always just looks like a goober. He's always just like, but he's a scary man. He cashed in his contract and beat Chris Jericho for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Now he's Chris Jericho's lackey.
Yes, now he is Chris Jericho's lackey. There's a little full circle there for you. Also, this day in 2015, AJ Lee wrestled her last match, teaming up with Paige and Naomi.
Paige Hill.
Who is apparently being lazy for not coming back. Like, shut the fuck up, you fucking marks. They beat Brie and Nikki Bella along with Natalya. On to birthdays. If I can find my birthday notes.
Yeah, everybody's giving Paige shit because
it's like shut up,
guys. Everybody heals differently.
Yeah,
if Paige could wrestle, she would be wrestling. You know what I mean? Don't y'all think? Like
leave her alone. Like she's taking her time. Like let her Paige here. Like in her own time, she'll be fine. So birthdays, we have one of my all-time favorites. This day in 1945 was one Mr. Rugged Ronnie Garvin.
The hands of stone, baby.
I love Ronnie Garvin so much. I loved his little like jumping headbutt where he's like, Bick!
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was like a double dragon move.
Yeah. First guy to wear just a towel to the ring, take the towel off, boom, business.
Yeah, it is.
Like world heavyweight champ, man. Yeah, he was one of my dad's big favorites too.
He needs to make a comeback because he's still alive. Like, what are you doing? Quit being lazy. Like, he can just show up and be like, Garvin here. And it would go over
Garvin
so well.
Here, Rugged Ronnie Garvin here, hands of stone. He always had a Band-Aid on his forehead. I love that, too.
Because his vicious, like, boing. Like, his little jumping headbutts.
Badass, man. Yeah, hell yeah.
Who else do we have today? We have one Mr. Mike Rotundo in 1958. You know him as IRS, of course.
IRS.
1987, Trent Beretta. Very cool.
Brett.
And since we don't have a show on April 1st, I'm going to throw this out here right now. Thought he was way older than this, but on April 1st in 1980, we have one Mr. Randy Orton.
Orton, yeah. I hear voices in my head. Yeah.
And
Randy.
That is this day in wrestling history. And Primo, you have one? Go ahead. You fake champ.
I do have one.
What?
I said I do have one.
No.
I didn't forget last year, and I won't forget this year. He knows because he knows what I'm about to say.
I hate you guys.
April 1st. Happy birthday to our very own Dirty motherfucking Bird.
Yay!
You're welcome.
Thank
you for having me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for bringing it up. I
It's
wasn't
your
going to
birthday.
have one this year, but now you guys brought it up, so I might have one now.
Well, you have to have one.
Is it going to be the same day that it was the tournament and WrestleMania and everything? No, it's the Friday, isn't it? It's Friday,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's Friday, yeah.
He was excited.
Yeah, I was excited on that particular incident. Yeah. Birthday Friday. Hopefully the heels don't give me a heart attack Saturday night. Wrestling, NXT during the day. Yeah,
he means the Tar Heels for all those.
The Tar Heels.
Yeah.
Not the heels.
Not the wrestling heels.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Tar Heels. UNC Tar Heels. Yeah.
You got big plans for Friday? You gonna make some biscuits from scratch like they did in California way?
Or he's gonna unbox some of those old hats from the hat factory,
from the haberdashery.
Sure am. I wait for my buddy to see if he can come pick me up on the old horse buggy. Take me to the haberdashery.
You gonna take your best gal to the ice cream social for your birthday? Yeah.
My best gal or my wife? Which one? I have both.
Got him.
It's a joke. Just kidding. Yeah, there we go. But thank you guys. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. Basically, I love it that my birthday falls around WrestleMania weekend because it's kind of like, do what you want to, right? I'm like, all right, cool. Leave me alone. Watch wrestling all weekend, So, I'm looking forward to it. But thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday, you young stallion.
To you.
Wait, was that a tag team? No, wait, that was... Yeah.
Wild Stallions.
Wild Stallion. That was Bill and Ted.
That's
the
Bill and
Young
Ted.
Stallions they were a tag team. Well, now it's turning. So,
wrestling in the headlines. Today...
Go on, I guess.
Yeah, we're done. I'm at March 30th. That's today for all you marks out there. There's nothing like a good news giggle.
Nothing like a good news giggle.
So let's get straight to it. Speaking of that, thanks H. On Stephen A's World last Friday night, Triple H himself officially announced not only about his recent bouts with illness and surgery and such, but he has officially announced his in-ring retirement from any sort of competition. However, he will be remaining backstage. What do you guys think about that? I mean, we all kind of knew it. I'm, personally, he's one of my favorites, and he's a no pun intended, but he was a game changer for the business in the late 90s, early in the 2000s. So
yeah, it made me sad to hear that he had a defibrillator put in.
Right.
And, because my dad had one too. He's had heart problems, so I know exactly what he's going through with that. But hey, one of the best heels ever, one of my favorites ever. Say what you want to, but this man made a living being a nasty guy, and he put over his WrestleMania record's 1 in 20 or something, right?
Yeah,
he put over. Yeah, he put over. He did his job putting over faces on the big stage. So I mean, and he built NXT. Man, we can't forget about that. That was his baby, right? So
yeah,
how cool!
Now look at it.
He's great, man. He's great, man. I hope he doesn't go away completely.
Yeah, me too. I have a bad feeling that he will. It's like, fuck this. I'm just gonna go relax.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned his endurance isn't quite 100% yet, but
sure, yeah, he's done.
And that's understandable. But
I just hope one day he'll just show up on the screen and be like, H, yeah. I'm gonna do that for everyone now.
H. So, Dave Meltzer reported that Fox, in 2019 when they took over SmackDown, Fox originally wanted the rights to Raw.
Why didn't was USA just fuck off? I'm not.
They went into a bidding war, and apparently USA they bumped up their bidding. The bids got crazy, and they won out. But
I bet they're regretting their decision now.
Yeah, Fox definitely, as of this moment, 3 years later, Fox got the better end of the deal.
Yeah,
I do. I also in that promo that was played at the intro of this show. Roman even mentions that Fox begged him to come save SmackDown.
That's what a cunty thing to say. I love it.
Yeah. So Paul Heyman revealed on Figure 4 Online that he signed a long-term deal with WWE back in 2021. He's kept it under wraps. He said he didn't want to be one of those guys. You hear all the contracts extended and whatnot, whatever. He just said that all he'll say is it is a long-term deal, and it was something that he'd be stupid to refuse. This weekend in Dallas, WWE is going to host 45 current and former college athletes for tryouts.
Yeah, it's kind of like their thing, man. They like to get those collegiate athletes, and train them up,
Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
Yeah, NXT. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, man. We'll see who made it through here in about a week or so.
I mean, they're going to Texas, so, that's the best athletes are coming from there. So,
that is a dirty lie.
That is not. I knew you were totally going there too.
Oh man! So Friday night,
fuck off with your Texas.
Friday night is the Hall of Fame ceremony after SmackDown, and the latest Hall of Fame inductees are none other than the Steiner brothers.
Oh, yeah! So pumped when I saw that. Are they going to let Scott talk? God,
I hope so. I hope so.
He's going to say something 33 in the third or mention
and Rick's just going to bark a bunch of times.
Yeah. This is great, man. Hell yeah.
And lastly, Fightful tweeted earlier today that AEW Talent Relations cited budget cuts and a large roster as a reason for not extending at least one AEW contract. Fightful Select has learned earlier today.
Do we know who
Marco
yet?
Stunt?
No, they don't say it. They didn't say it.
Marco Stunt's already
he's already gone. So.
Fucked off, yeah.
And I'm sure that no offense to Marco Stunt, but I don't see his salary being
making a blip.
I thought it was I read. This might be wrong. I thought I read that it was up in like a month, and they've just basically not contacted him, and basically paid him to stay at home. But I don't know. We'll see who else it is though. But yeah, I mean, we're getting to that era where those contracts in the beginning are coming up, so they can decide if they want to keep rolling. You know what I mean? So they're gonna have to start being bad guys eventually, like WWE has to sometimes. So it's just business.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean every offense to Marco Stunt, by the way. Fuck you, Marco Stunt. Yeah.
And that is today in the headlines.
Thank you, sir. All right.
You're welcome.
Time for the fan shout out. DM us on Twitter at SitDownMarks. Let us know when and where you listen to the podcast, and we will shout you on the pod. AJ, you got one for us today, don't you, brother?
I do. So I want to say hi to Joe, who says that he's not the biggest wrestling fan in the world, but he is a friend of a friend, and he just likes listening to us be idiots, basically.
Right.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about half the time, but I just want to hear you guys be morons and crack yourselves up. And I was like, oh, thank you very much. That's very nice. So, hello, thanks, Joe. Thank you for joining us, and
appreciate it, brother.
Not even really liking wrestling, and yet finding something of value that we do, even though it's all garbage.
100%. Yeah, I appreciate you listening, Joe. And also, that's something I say quite a bit is even if you don't like wrestling, and I am going to sound a little biased here, but we're funny as fuck. I laugh at us all the time. Like when I listen back to our stuff, I'm just like, man, I listen to us as if I wasn't actually here, and we are funny dudes. Like
when you laugh at your own joke.
It's almost
says that with the most humblest.
Yeah, everybody, the champ is speaking, so keep your ears on.
Yeah,
but no, for real though,
is on, folks.
For real, it's just we could almost consider this a comedy wrestling podcast. So So I mean, it's just
it's all thanks to
at least we think we're funny.
Yes, like everyone else might look at us like this.
Yeah. Which, like you said, he likes to hear us be morons, which we are. So,
all right, AJ, let's move on, man. How about that movie of the week?
AJ's movie of the week.
So sometimes, while I'm watching all these terrible movies, I forget that there are some wrestlers in some pretty fucking good movies, and Dave Bautista is one of those that has a pretty good track record. So I mean,
he's got some fair ones, yeah.
So I watched Dune. I want to say starring Dave Bautista, but he's only in it for like 10 minutes or something like that. But I was grasping onto
the Oscars and all that.
It won like 5 Oscars.
Yeah, that's what I
thought. No, it's fantastic, especially if you're like I'm not the biggest sci-fi nerd in the world, but I've read the book and I saw the original movie. It was really good. And Dave Bautista plays, I think it's Raban is his name. He plays like the main bad guy's little henchman buddy. And it was fantastic. Like, obviously, Dave Bautista plays Dave Bautista. He's like, oh, let's steal the spice. If you don't know what Dune is about, that it's just the evil guys are trying to get spice, which is sand. It's fucking sand. They go to a desert planet to harvest, fucking sand. And Dave Bautista.
The weirdest movies always get the biggest reviews, don't they? Like, I mean, it seems in the Oscars and stuff.
But it was great. Like, I loved it. It was obviously, the first part of a 2-part movie.
You named the one movie with Bautista that I didn't see. So, like...
Oh, really?
I just hadn't seen that one. I've always meant to go back and watch it, but...
It's good.
I thought you were going to say, like, Man with the Iron Fist, Guardians of the Galaxy. He's in a bunch of, like, blockbuster movies.
I totally forgot about Man with the Iron Fist. He's also in
James Bond, one of those movies.
He's also in Army of the Dead, which I refuse to ever talk about on this podcast.
Yeah.
I have watched it, and I will not talk about it ever.
So this was a good movie review then.
It
liked
was.
This yeah,
I was like,
nice.
Hey.
Look at you! Look at you! You like what?
I looked for another Hanna-Barbera fucking collaboration.
See, now don't ruin.
You've already watched all the Scooby-Doo's, Jetsons, and Flintstones.
I got the trilogy, and I was like, I'm gonna go with a good movie. So I went with Dune. Everyone go watch it. It's good. A little slow, a little long, but if you're a nerd, it's fan-fucking-tastic. I loved it.
All right, well done there, AJ. All right, it's time to talk about what we're going to talk about. Today is our pre-WrestleMania pod, so we're going to look at that card. And also this week we're going to debate HBK versus Undertaker from WrestleMania 26, which was the rematch from the week from the year after the big match that they had. So we're going to debate that as one of our top WrestleMania matches. And we're going to be drafting here through our virtual promotions today. We're going to be drafting champions to add to our virtual promotions. And as promised, we promised you 5 interviews in March. Well, today is number 5. This week's interview to round out March is a prominent wrestler all across the USA right now. He wrestles in Iron Spirit Pro, AAW, Gali Lucha, and many more. This week's interview is Sabotage Sean Logan. Don't miss this. He is doing a lot of cool things already in his young career. You're going to love his aspect. This kid's attitude towards wrestling is just everything you think it should be at his age. You guys are really going to love this one, man. Like, he is just I'm expecting big things for this kid. So I'm excited we was able to talk to him and kind of pick his brain and see what he's doing right now. So, a real student of the game, man, and really excited for you guys to hear this one. So, yeah, like I said, man, doing a lot of cool things. So we've got a lot to talk about here, man. So let's get this thing rolling, Primo. Let's get it.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. And you're listening
to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, time for that weekly recap. Let's start with some indies. Last Saturday, I headed out to Paris, Illinois. I watched a little promotion out there called New Wave Pro Wrestling. They usually run over in Terre Haute, Indiana. They come across over here to Illinois. It was a great card, man. Myron Reed was on that card.
Oh, cool.
Don't Die Miles was the champion there. He defended against Anakin Murphy, a guy that me and AJ seen wrestle a lot. So that was really good. They put on a really excellent card there. Had a good crowd. It was really cool, man. A lot of good tag team matches. Victor Analog was there as well, so enjoyed that. I found a new guy. I always like finding new guys on the indie scene, right, to kind of watch, And there ain't a lot of good managers out there in the indies. I mean, there's a lot of good managers on the indies. There ain't a lot of managers, period, in the indies. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's kind of kind of an older, thing that's, not, carried as much, ain't a lot of indie managers. But I found this guy called Dude Baddington. You guys should check him out, man. He one of the best hype men managers I've ever seen. His kid did a hell of a job. He had me and my buddy Aaron going crazy, just laughing at him, man. It was a great time, man. We had a good time out there. So go check him out, man. I'm going to be checking those guys out again. So, but
say his name again.
I believe it was Dude Baddington. I believe was his name. So. But you're going to love it, man. He's a really cool manager, and looks like he's probably going to get in some wrestling too. So, but let's talk about the show we're going to be sponsoring this weekend down in WrestleMania weekend this Friday for $5 on the live stream. You can watch Cover All Bases presented by Zawa Live Wrestling, sponsored by the Sit Down Marks. This show is Friday, April 1st, 6 o'clock Central local time, so 7 o'clock Eastern. They got a big card out there. The main event is Bucky versus Gary J. How about that, guys? 2 former guests on the pod in the main event of a sponsored podcast that show that we're doing. It's going to be a big show out there, man. If you're in the Arlington, Texas area, man, go check out this show. It's going to be a big show out there, man. Excited to see what all happens out there. Hartenbauer's defending the title. Country Air is going to be there. A lot of good wrestling. Blair Onyx is going to be there. I think she's going to be wrestling against Missa Kate, who I saw at New Way Pro this weekend too. Big fan of hers too, man. A really great women's wrestler. So, and then also too, guys, I'm glad, that Ring of Honor did, allegedly dissipate, but, and Khan brought the rights to it. But one of my favorite things about my birthday and Mania weekend was always the ROH Supercard. And they're putting that on Friday. It's always been a very, very big banging card every year. This year's one of the big featured match is FTR versus slipping my mind right now. Briscoes. FTR versus the Briscoes. So I'm excited to watch that one, man. It's going to be a really cool card. We got WrestleCon going on this weekend, so tons of indie shows on Fight, tons of things going on this weekend. So let's move on, man. We got a lot more to talk about here. AJ, before we get to WWE, let's talk about Dynamite and Rampage here, man. What happened last week at AEW?
There's some wrestling. Moving on.
Okay. Cool. All right, so in WWE we have...
So, let's start with Dynamite. A few things I want to talk about. One, I want your guys' take on this because it was CM Punk versus Dax Harwood.
Yeah.
Fantastic match. It was like an old school, like feeling each other off. I talk for a living. So they're in the ring, they're jerking each other off, and you're like, where is this going, guys? Where's the psychology in this?
I know where it usually goes.
Yeah, just Happy Town.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this is Punk's first appearance since his match with MJF, the whole dog collar match. And it was great. Like I said, good old school wrestling match, and crowd loved every bit of it, especially Punk, because it was first, like the return of Punk. He's only been gone for like 2 weeks. Punk gets the win. But here's what I'm worried about.
I love this match, by the way.
I did too. It was fantastic. Yeah. And did you guys notice that Dax Harwood wrestled like a babyface a little bit? Is there some sort of face turn coming for FTR? Because, God damn it, I hope not. They're the best heel team in the world.
I will say this. Dax he's losing the flab. He's starting to show some abs, dude. He's getting in shape. I don't know, man. Good. I don't know. I didn't see it, but it's been a few days since I watched it, too.
I mean, I kind of agree. And also with their backstage promo about, like, doesn't matter who comes and manages them or whatever. Like, I just feel like their stuff back, like some of the stuff they've been saying backstage also kind of leans not as heely.
Yeah. Plus there was no like cheating. Like he was by himself. Like, I don't know. He used a sharpshooter, which was a nice little nod to Brett, which is fucking awesome. Also, apparently, the Gun Club made their way to the ring. I don't know, because I don't see the Gun Club whenever they make an appearance. I just block them out of my face because
you can't. They're Cena. You can't see them.
Yes, they are Cena to me. Like I can't see.
Wait, was this Griff Grifferson?
I
don't know. I remember it was a Griff Grifferson.
No, there is an appearance.
Okay, gotcha.
But no, this wasn't.
Okay, so I didn't see him either then.
Griff Grifferson is later. There was the 8-man tornado tag. There's only one spot I want to talk about is, Jeff Hardy jumping off the fucking window ledge and doing the swanton, which I'm actually glad Primo's not here right now because would argue with me and probably punch my face. I think the swanton bomb is a stupid fucking finisher. I always have. I have never liked it. Primo, I am sorry when you go back and listen to this. Swanton bomb sucks. It looks stupid. He looks like a flying squirrel, but
it's not a whole lot of contact, but a lot of finishers sometimes are that way. Like the people's elbow, right? Like
yeah, but that's not a finisher, and it's awesome. But this one, he seriously looks like a flying squirrel, and then he just like one that forgot.
He's bashing your boy, Primo.
I hear him, and I just. I think this particular swanton sucked, but they don't all suck.
I think they all suck.
This particular one, he gave
the higher he is, the better they are.
Whoever he was, I forgot.
I mean on drugs. I mean like off a ledge or something.
But he landed full body on him. He gave him all of his weight.
Yeah,
I heard a interview with him one time where he said that it depends on like if they like you or if they're like, I don't know, just ribbing you or whatever, and whether or not he goes actually on top of him full body weight or if he kind of goes and rolls over him a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait, so it depends on his personal opinion,
right? Yeah. Or like, yeah, if they're like,
I'm gonna injure who I don't
like if he's fucking with him, yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I like to think there's still things like that happening.
Yeah.
All right, seems fine.
Yeah, sure.
Up next, my favorite segment of the last 2 weeks is Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson versus that Griffer wagon is still on the road somehow.
Grifferson.
Every week, TW Ward says you're driving it off the cliff, but you still hadn't made it.
Well, it's a long trip to the cliff. I live in Illinois. There's no fucking cliffs around here.
It's all flat, man. He's been driving for days.
I didn't say I was going to drive him through a cornfield. I'd just drive him off a cliff. You know where the closest fucking cliff is? Fucking the Appalachian.
We're here. I live right by the Appalachians.
Closest cliff is a guy named Cliff.
That was a very good dad joke.
Clifferson.
It was.
Cliff Clifferson. So the Varsity Blondes are taking on, so far they are just Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson with William Regal, but after they basically take apart the Varsity Blondes in a very good match, they made the Varsity Blondes look very good, including Griff Grifferson, who fucking is the worst thing in the history of wrestling.
No.
What's up with Julia Hart just sitting like a bump on the log over there?
Yeah,
she was pouting with her eye patch on. Why is she wearing an eye patch?
I guess I missed that.
I mean, Malachi Black hit her with the goo a couple of months ago.
She's going to be in that faction, I think. Don't y'all think she's going to be the girl in that faction?
Oh yeah, I absolutely think so. I mean, obviously that happened like 2 months ago, and they're still fucking playing it up. So I think something's going to come from it. So it was a great match. Moxley and Danielson are obviously fucking awesome. They renamed themselves, which I cannot wait to get a t-shirt of this. The Blackpool Combat Club, which is the coolest fucking name ever.
I'm sure our guy RPD's going to get him one. He lives in Blackpool.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's where Regal's from too.
Yeah, Regal's
and RPD and Regal know each other.
Yeah.
So I love
it. So it's going to be kind of like a faction then, right?
Yeah. The Blackpool Combat Club.
Garcia, not Garcia. Maybe Wheeler Yuta they'll bring in.
Yeah. I think Wheeler Yuta is going to be the first younger kind of.
Yeah. I like it. Why not?
So that was a fantastic segment. And Regal is just awesome. We had a promo from MJF, which is his basic
Every week I say he's so fucking good.
He's amazing.
God.
Like
So
when
good.
I say it's a basic MJF promo, I mean it's fucking amazing because he is the best promo in the business. He talked about his feud with CM Punk, which is apparently not over. He said that it'll be over when one of them's dead, basically. Wardlow obviously comes out because he was like, you're still under contract to me, and I'm just going to, make you sit out and not do anything. But yeah, it was a good segment. It was MJF being awesome MJF. Up next, we have an appearance of Jay Lethal in a nothing match. He's being underutilized, but at the same time, he's Jay Lethal. He can do whatever he wants. He loses to Adam Cole.
Yep. I think, and then he loses on Rampage too, or he lost on Rampage to Adam Cole. One or two. Anyway.
Well, yeah, he cut that promo.
I think we got a little machismo. Like he started putting the finger in the air. He's stopping and doing a little bit.
Well, yeah.
His promo was that there's a change that needs to be made. I think
it's something it's just not enough. It's not enough right now.
I think
he needs the black machismo.
Ooh, yeah.
He would win our macho offs if
100%.
He's the best macho and nature boy.
Yeah, yes, he is, especially nature boy.
Yeah.
Next segment. I don't even fucking care. I'm so soured on Sammy Guevara. I don't know why. That is two hats. Why are you Johnny two hats? Three hats.
Well, I think two is like Sammy was on fire, and I feel like since they put him with Tay Conti, he's gotten like a cup. He's cupcake now. Like he's like boyfriend now instead of a hard ass like champion.
They never even like. I don't know. They never had closure with him. Like he never officially left Inner Circle.
No, he was just kind of like, all right, I'm over here now.
Yeah,
I'm Sammy Guevara. I'm soured on him. I'm not a fan. Even though I love Tay Conti, I'm just like, However, I do and will always love Dan Lambert, who is the TNT champion.
Can I say this too? Like the elephant in the room. I hate saying Tay Conti's name because I feel like I'm saying a very bad name for a woman that women don't like to hear.
What word is that?
Well, it rhymes with Conti, but it's Tay.
Monty?
Yeah, but
Monty
anyway, but you know what I'm saying? It's really close. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm like, wait, did I say that right? You know, like
Tay Conti.
We just call that the C word in the Primo household.
So you want to know a really quick funny story about the old C word? So
no.
Are you sure it's great?
Yes, no.
Fine.
No.
But it's said by a tiny girl.
No.
So then to close out the show, we have the Jericho Appreciation Society against one Mr. Johnny Hungy and Alex Reynolds.
Johnny Hungy.
So I was all excited about this last week. I thought, they're going to do some funny things. And no, the Jericho Appreciation Society, they didn't change how they wrestled at all. Like they're still, you have Daniel Garcia. He's like a wrestler's wrestler.
Yeah.
And so they just, that's how they wrestled the match as they're normal guys. And I was like, all right, do something else with this. I was excited. And then I was
Yeah, same. Hungy and Silver. I mean, Silver and Reynolds, they're eventually getting tag titles somewhere along the line. But like right now, man, I feel like they have like this indie darling feel to them. You know what I'm saying? Because remember there for a while, like everybody was on the Dark Order when they got hot. You know, everybody, and then Brody passed, and then everybody was really on their, on their side, and they were winning, some decent amounts and stuff. And, probably like over maybe like the last like 2 months, they've kind of soured out. They haven't been a big group together as much. When's the last time you seen Evil? Like all of them together, right? It's been
when they saved them.
Yeah.
Or when they had their little spat backstage.
That's right. Yeah. So I feel like they're kind of the two most popular of the group right now, and I'm kind of liking it, man. Because
I love Johnny Hungy so much.
Yeah, and I like Reynolds too. Hey, he's the Jannetty to me, like kind of basic, but I like him because he's like he looks like what every wrestler looks like to me. But we're members. But anyway,
Michael, you shut up over there in the comments. Quit. You don't get to say I told you so yet. I'm going to give it a little more time. Then you can say I told you so. So we're going to move on to Rampage really fast.
Sir Murder Hawk!
Sir Murder Hawk is back. Sir Lance Arthur taking on an ageless Dustin Rhodes. Still looks fantastic.
Two Texans.
Yep. Two Texans beating the Hoss turds out of each other.
Two Texans in Texas. By the way, JR, it's not Austin, it's Cedar Park. That's where the HEB Center is.
That's why they call
I used to live right by that. That's the only reason it bugs me every time. They're like, oh, we're in Austin, Texas. It's like a good 30 minutes from Austin.
Oh, yeah. They do the same with Chicago. Yeah.
I love how much you love Texas. It's weird to me.
So Rampage was good, though.
Well, there's the one thing I really want to talk about. I mean, obviously, there's the Dark Order versus Red Dragon, which was, fine. I love Preston Vance. I think he's awesome. Hook, for the first time, kind of looked like a boner a little bit. I did not like this segment at all, where, it started with Nyla Rose squishing some girl whose name I don't remember. And then there was this funny thing with Danhausen trying to curse Hook, which it's like, okay, professional wrestlers.
Yeah, he does the hand gesture at him, and he just kind of walked away from him, Yeah. So, that was a little weird.
It was a bit strange.
He was giving him, QT Marshall was giving him
he's just like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, he puts that one, his lackey, I can't remember his name. But anyway, he's a Black and Brave graduate.
Yeah.
It was okay. But I liked the Ricky Starks.
That's the one I wanted to talk about because they both looked awesome.
Yeah.
So Ricky Starks, I hate him in just the right way. He's phenomenal. And I can't wait for him to do all the things. Swerve Strickland also is fantastic. They both wrestled so smooth, so fast. And like Swerve Strickland's like supposed to be like this big high flyer. And the body of a Dutch woman.
my favorite thing Ricky said all night was when they were doing the back and forth with Mark Henry, before they go out to talk, Swerve was doing is, don't forget, whose house it is, Swerve's house. And then Ricky said, you don't forget, Swerve, the last house you were in, you got evicted from.
Right.
That was a good line.
I was like, oh, that was nice.
That's the kind of line that Max Caster wishes he could write.
Like, I have said, obviously, how much I've liked Ricky Starks in the past, but as of this, like, I was watching this past Friday, and I was just like, man, I think I'm sold on he might be one of my favorite people in AEW period right now.
Ricky Starks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. I am so behind Ricky Starks right now.
Yeah, good stuff.
Adam Cole has the body of a Dutch woman. That's so fucking funny. And that's AEW, Dynamite, and Rampage for the week.
Thank you very much, Sir AJ. All right, Primo, we got a lot to talk about WWE, man. Before we get to the Mania card, let's talk about SmackDown and Raw and some NXT.
NXT, some Raw, some smacking it down. Let's go. WWE smacking it down. Show opens up with Brock saying that the front office has talked to him and says he can't touch Roman unless he is provoked. The old Sheriff Austin rules. So he says he's just going to hang out in Roman's locker room and just wait for a good old provoking. The tribal chief comes over the Titantron via satellite and tells Brock to get out of his locker room or he's going to bust him up when he gets there. Next up, we had Xavier Woods returning, and he defeated Ridge Holland. That was the only reason I put that in my notes. Xavier Woods returned to TV.
And beat Ridge Holland, who I fucking hate.
Undertaker was announced. This has already passed now, but Undertaker was announced to be the pace car driver at Circuit of the Americas.
That was cool. Yeah, I saw him at the race on Sunday. Yeah.
So
cool.
What is that for us non-race
So
people?
in NASCAR, you have a pace car guy, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You can explain it, Dirty.
He was the Grand Marshal.
He was the pace car driver.
Yeah, he was a pace car driver. Yeah. So Circuit of the Americas COTA is a road course, which is not your traditional, NASCAR type track, just turning left. It has right turns and, all throughout.
It's like an Indy, when you think of an Indy course.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. So basically.
So it's a Need for Speed course?
Yeah. So he drove the pace car, which basically just leads the field through at least a couple laps before the race starts. And then once the race starts, he veers off, and then the drivers go to the green flag to start the race. So he basically just got to start the NASCAR race. But he was there talking. He was on pit row. I think every NASCAR driver got a picture with him. While he was there. So, but yeah, very cool, man. I always like to see that stuff.
Okay, thank you for explaining that.
It seems like everywhere he goes, he's like that. Always gets all the fanfare. I remember myself and Jet Designs were at a University of Texas football game years ago, probably 9 years ago now. And he was there, and this dude is so tall, his head almost reached the bottom row of the stands.
Yeah, he's a legend.
It was cool. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale is announced for next Friday, this Friday, as well as a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Poor Intercontinental Champion.
And finally, the Tribal Chief arrived and came down to the ring. We got a TSR sighting.
Tracksuit Roman, baby.
That's
the
right.
Best Roman.
So he was wearing... Go ahead, Adrian.
It was special. It was... WrestleMania SmackDown fucking red.
That's right. So we had Tracksuit Roman comes out, and I said, and then because every time they talk about this, they say it's the biggest match of all time. So real quick, between the three of us, is it? Is it really?
No.
Is it really the biggest match of all time?
I guess we gotta see it first.
Statistically, sure.
Think about it. Think about it. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Statistically, think about it. Longest reigning Universal Champion versus the current WWE Champion who has held whatever. He's, Brock Lesnar. He's a beast. He's done it all. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns, the current generational talent.
No.
Is it the biggest match of all time? What does it beat?
No, it certainly doesn't beat Rock Stone Cold. That to me is the biggest WrestleMania match of all time.
It doesn't beat Brett and Stone Cold to me. It doesn't, you know what I mean?
It doesn't.
You see, I agree with you. That's why I was like, every time they say the biggest match of all time. Yeah. Now we'll see on this Sunday at WrestleMania Sunday.
They might, change our mind. The Rock and Stone Cold might cash in or something.
Shit. Okay. So anyway, he says if Brock is still in his locker room, then he's going to personally go in there and put his head right through a wall. Yeah. A camera feed is shown of a destroyed locker room, but no Brock. Then Brock is shown destroying their Suburban. Rock says, "That's all right. The Tribal Chief has 4 of those. That's small money."
No worries.
Yeah.
That's apparently an awesomely douchey thing to say.
Yeah, they already got a brand new Suburban since Brock Lesnar put a forklift through last week's Suburban.
Right.
So
he bought a 6-pack of them. It's fine.
That's right. So then Brock marches down to the ring through the crowd. Security gets in the ring, but Brock karate kicks the security with a steel chair in his hand.
Those poor guys.
I was telling my wife this when I watched it. I was like, imagine being those security guys looking up and you just see this beast of a man launching himself at you.
Yeah. Here comes a boot.
She was Miss Primo said, I just wouldn't be there. I wouldn't put myself in that position.
No.
So, but then the Bloodline does the smart thing and retreats. Then Roman comes over the screen and tells Brock that at WrestleMania, Brock will acknowledge him. This is very important. He says, Brock will acknowledge him as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Now that is verbatim, that title.
Mm-hmm. So they're just combining them then?
Well, that's what I want to get to, because we're going to get to Raw here now. And at Raw, Brock Lesnar opens up the special WrestleMania edition. They call it WrestleMania edition Raw, WrestleMania Raw, whatever.
Yep.
They showed the replay of Friday, and they edited it to where Roman Reigns only said in the edited version, undisputed Universal Champion. They took out the WWE part.
Gotcha.
That leads me to believe, which I hope is not true, that they'll keep the Universal Championship.
Yeah. I hated this episode of Raw, by the way.
So Brock just gives a quick promo about his upcoming matchup. It wasn't anything, just a woo, howdy, boy, howdy, I'm going to WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. I agree with Michael. Like he said I think it was Michael. He said last week where Brock Lesnar has developed this real country accent. So
yes, from southern Minnesota.
Yeah. So Seth's meeting. So Seth, over the weekend, Seth got a text from Vince McMahon saying that he had to come and meet him. You know, he ran out of chances to go to WrestleMania. Anyway, they showed the meeting. Seth's meeting with Vince McMahon goes well as he discovers that he will be in WrestleMania but won't know his opponent until he gets into the ring. The person will be someone of Mr. McMahon's choosing. So it's kind of along the lines of what we talked about last week. Yeah.
Who could it be?
Right.
Who's going to answer? Yeah.
I wonder.
He said too, didn't he say you'll know after you're in the ring? You'll find out when you're in the ring.
Exactly. It's like almost exactly like what we said was going to happen.
Yes. But so, watch it not be.
That's what I was going to say. What if they swerve us? And it's not Cody? And it's like in The Fiend Returns or something's crazy. Like,
that would be amazing.
Right, yeah.
I'd be like, you sneaky fuckers.
They're like, yeah, we had you in the palm of our hand. And that's whenever they're able to pull that off every once in a blue moon, that's whenever they get me back as a fan. Because, you know, being as into it as we are and as old as we are now and able to read into things, it's hard to be surprised.
It is.
It is. That would definitely be a fucking surprise. And I would fucking go nuts if it was someone other than fucking Cody Rhodes. Because it would be so funny. And it'd basically be Vince McMahon being like, you fucking nerds.
Right.
That would make me laugh.
We had another TSR sighting on Raw, as AJ mentioned. The Bloodline
red.
He had red TSR, red tracksuit Roman. He says the only thing he hasn't done is slay the beast at WrestleMania. Then he gives a pretty damn good promo about how he's going to beat Brock, as you heard at the top of the podcast. Finally on Raw, they played a freaking... Now, I've seen everything there is to see about Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it never gets old to me. I love watching everything about him. They played a freaking awesome video package of Stone Cold. It always gets me hyped. It gets me hyped every single time. By the way, when Roman was giving his promo, they were wetting him, and he said, "You people are gonna stop wetting me."
Yeah, I'm gonna come smash every one of you.
Yeah, that was funny. That made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah,
because Stone Cold, when he was on Pat McAfee, and they talked about the what chant, he was like, "Hell no," because Stone Cold still loves it, right? He made it. You know, there were rumors that he hated it, but he actually likes it, and he says, if you aren't good enough to get past the what chant, then, you know, what good are you? So
very, very clever. That's pretty cool that he said that. Because I personally hate the what chant.
Right. It does get on people's nerves, but he has a good point. If you can't get past it, or if you can't change your cadence, you know?
Yeah, that's really cool that he said that.
So, and lastly, so it gets me hyped, and KO comes out and says the tribute that he did last week was better. And that was basically wrong. There were some other things, but those were the highlights. We'll get to NXT here. I got 3 big highlights. Number one, Imperium defeated Eli Drake and the Rascals.
Let's go ahead and get this guy out of here.
So,
just don't acknowledge it. Keep going.
Yeah, and Imperium defeated Eli Drake and the Rascals. If you guys were curious, that's actually LA Knight and MSK. I just wanted to throw back to their Impact days. Dolph Ziggler, basically, in my opinion, Dolph Ziggler is awesome, and he is exactly the champion that NXT needed, period, point blank. He elevates the product. Dolph Ziggler's just awesome. And lastly, they had the triple threat match for the final participant to be in the North American Championship match at Stand Deliver, and Cameron Grimes defeated A-Kid and Roderick Strong. So he will be the final participant in that North American ladder match at Stand and Deliver in Dallas on Saturday. So
a few things I want to say too. I messed up there. Ricochet, like he's like 0-4 since losing the belt already. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like,
you see me since winning the belt?
Yeah, since winning the belt.
I
don't know.
Surprised, but geez, but it did make me smile to see Kevin Owens have his Mania shirt on.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
But so where was Ronda Rousey? What? Why? How come like half the people that have matches at Mania weren't even featured on Raw?
Right.
Like where's Rousey?
Well, Ronda was on SmackDown, which she shouldn't be talking anyway. Honestly.
No,
like, she should be quiet until Mania. None of her stuff has gotten over it all, But yeah, she was on SmackDown, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think they need to do anything more to that anyway. But yeah, that was the only thing I want to say was KO's Mania shirt, and
I like that shirt.
Yep.
So let's get to after NXT recap, let's get to the Stand and Deliver card for Saturday. For the kickoff show of Stand and Deliver, we have the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match between Gigi Dolan and JC Jane versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Did I read that right? Raquel Gonzalez. Sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, they're back together.
They are. Sorry, I had a brain situation there. I forgot they were back together. So Index, Indy Hartwell, Dexter Lumis, and Duja, as they're calling themselves, which is Duke Hudson and Persia Pirotta, they're going to have a showdown. Dude. Next up, you got Let Me Talk to You, L.A. Knight versus Gunther.
Okay.
Something I didn't talk about on NXT was Tommaso Ciampa's little promo, but we have Tommaso Ciampa versus Tony D'Angelo. So he had a steel chair that he was sitting on, and whenever he finished his promo, because he said there were like stirs in the air about him leaving at NXT or whatever, and whenever he picked up the steel chair, he put it against the wall. It was spray painted with the date he came to NXT and Saturday's date at the end.
Is he getting called up?
I believe so. I think so.
I would assume so.
No, I think him and LA should both get called up, honestly.
Mm-hmm. LA Knight should have been called up.
Oh, for sure.
Last year.
He would elevate the product so well.
He's so good.
North American Championship ladder match. We got Carmelo Hayes versus Santos Escobar versus Grayson Waller versus Solo Sikoa versus Cameron Grimes. What y'all think about that match? What do y'all think about that North American? You think it's time for Cameron to take the title to the moon?
Yes.
We can't make picks, boys. We can't make picks.
Are you doing picks on this card?
Yeah, we're doing NXT. Okay. Yeah. So just run over the card.
All right, gotcha. NXT Tag Team Championship match versus Imperium versus MSK versus the Creed Brothers.
Primo's trying to cheat his way into
trying to get you guys take on it.
Mm-hmm.
The NXT Women's Championship match: Mandy Rose versus Cora Jade versus Io Shirai versus Kaylee Ray after Io and Kaylee swindled their way into this fatal four-way match.
Swindled. You're not wrong.
And lastly, the NXT Championship match: DZ Dolph Ziggles himself versus Braun Breaker. I'm
looking forward to this card. I like daytime wrestling, 1 o'clock, noon, Saturday.
I'm actually looking forward to this card more than I am the main card, apart from like 1 or 2 matches. I just think it's going to be better.
Well, speaking of the main card, let's get to WrestleMania Saturday, shall we?
We shall.
WrestleMania Saturday, we have Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, otherwise known as the New Day, versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland.
No thanks.
Then we have Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin for like the 50th. I don't even know. I swear Drew McIntyre, Happy Corbin, and Madcap Moss are in this weird abyss where they constantly have to wrestle each other.
Yep. Is there a pre-show? Because if there is, that should be on the pre-show.
There is, but I just don't know what's on it yet.
Yeah, we don't know what's what, but this,
Yeah, Seth Rollins versus a mystery opponent.
Cody,
Ray and Dominic versus Ray and Dominic Mysterio. That'd be dope. Ray and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
What if it's a triple threat? What if Cody comes out and then The Fiend comes out and it's a triple threat?
Yeah, right?
Right? Like mind blown, motherfuckers. We'd all be
But-
popping.
I would love that.
That sounds great.
SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Usos versus Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah!
That was lovely. That was lovely from both of you.
Fatal 4-way for the... I'm sorry?
You got over your brain situation.
Fatal 4-way for the Women's Tag Team Championship. This probably would go on the pre-show. Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler versus Carmella and Queen Zelina.
Yep.
Okay.
Queen Zealander.
You know, for a while there, until I actually looked into it, I forgot who the Women's Tag Team Champions were.
Which one of those are the?
It's Carmella and Queen Zelina.
I know. That's just, of course it's those two.
SmackDown Women's Championship match: Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. Yep, cool. Then we have the main event is the KO show with none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's Saturday.
So is that going to be a match or a segment?
It says. Did you if you heard Stone Cold's little promo he did? He's coming there to
come on AJ
KO's show. You know,
are they going to turn it into a match? Is what I mean.
He's just going to turn it into an ass whooping.
No, it's just going to be stunners.
It's going to be stunners all around.
Yeah. It's going to be a big spectacle. Man.
It won't be It won't. I don't think it'll be an official match.
Yeah,
and I
don't either.
That's going to main event night one.
If they do, it'll be like ring the bell, stunner. It'll be something fast.
Yeah, something super fast.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sunday, WrestleMania Sunday. By the way, both of these start at 8 p.m. I don't know if that's Central or Eastern, but I'm assuming it's Eastern. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. That should be fun to watch. Bobby Lashley versus Almost. AJ Styles versus Edge. If Bobby Lashley doesn't beat Almost.
Not just doesn't beat him, but you should...
If AJ don't beat Edge.
Oh, well, we know that's going to happen. That will happen.
I don't know.
You crazy, man. I think that's one of the more toss-ups. Because
AJ and Edge.
AJ's not a WWE guy, Primo.
Yeah, but Vince,
I know we're not making
You gotta get past that. You gotta get past that.
Huh?
You gotta look past that. Vince McMahon originally didn't like AJ, but now he loves AJ. He's quoted as saying he wishes he signed AJ 10 years prior.
Sure.
Triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Championships: RK Bro versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Shush! I thank you. Anything goes match between Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn.
Nice.
And finally, what do they call it? The greatest match of all time. Winner takes all for the WWE and Universal Championships. Brock Lesnar versus the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns.
Not gonna lie, I think that's gonna be a really good match.
Big weekend, boys. Reminder, we didn't make picks because the Kurt Angle trophy is up for grabs this weekend, so we'll all be making picks on that. So look forward to it, man. We'll be kind of reaching back and talking to that here.
Where it goes, right here
shortly here. So, all right, so let me get this Impact Wrestling here for you so we can get to the Dropkick discussion. To start it off, Josh Alexander's in the ring, says that Moose has made it personal. Moose comes out, they brawl. Moose says, I'm going back to your house to show your kid what a real man looks like.
Wow.
Oh! So that really kind of sets him off. The rivalry is back. They're going at each other at Rebellion. I think it's April 23rd is going to be the match. So moving on down the card, Speedball Mike Bailey wins again. It seems that they are kind of grooming him to be the next X Division champion. Macklin, though, picking up steam. He beats Heath. He's beat Heath and Rhino for the last 2 weeks, so he will be facing, I think, possibly a tag team later on, but he also gets a gore from Rhino, who slides in after he beats Heath. But later on, we got a lumberjack match for the Impact tag titles, Violent by Design versus Good Brothers. Outside the ring, though, we got the Machine Guns, Decay, Bullet Club, Willie Mack, Rich Swann, Honor No More, So basically this is your normal lumberjack match. The heels beat up on the faces beat up on the heels. That's way it goes with these. So, but the way this ended up was Matt Taven and Bennett end up low blowing Carl Anderson. Violent by Design retains. And so we see some new feuds possibly starting here with the Good Brothers and Honor No More. And then we get to Eddie Edwards, who beats Rocky Romero, then Ring of Honor champion and Progress champion Jonathan Gresham returns. So he is back in Impact Wrestling. And then officially Swingers Dungeon is open for business. This should be some good comical stuff here, man. So
yeah, I look
all right. So we get to the main event, boys. All right. So we get to the main event, and for the Impact Knockouts champion in a Philadelphia street fight, we got the champion Tasha Steelz versus Mickie James. Hardcore Country. So this is a no DQ match. So basically, we know we're going to see Savannah Evans, who shows up early. We got chains, trash cans, lids, all that kind of shit in this fight.
You know what else we got?
What we got? Hardcore Country. And we do. And then so basically, they're brawling. They brawl. Savannah gets power bombed onto a table off of the apron, and the table doesn't break. Okay. And then so Savannah kind of crumbles off of it, like oh shit, it didn't break, right? And then so next spot on the very same table, Tasha hits Mickie off the apron. Mickie jumps onto the same table, and the damn table doesn't break again.
Jesus.
Yeah, so Nikki crumbles off. Getting to the finish, though, Savannah and Tasha are using a steel chair on Mickie. Then Chelsea Green comes in for the save, we think, with a chair in her hand. So she's instead of using the chair, she sits in the chair and watches them destroy Mickie. Now, this is her heel turn here. Obviously, she gets up. Mickie gets up, slaps Chelsea. They brawl for a hot second. Why didn't you help me? Why did you let them do that to me? And then out of nowhere comes Matt Cardona. He gives the radio silence, also called the Rough Rider from back in WWE days, on to Mickie. Chelsea clubs her with her cast that she's been wearing for a little while now. And then the show goes off. Matt and Chelsea are standing tall as full-on heels here.
Yeah. Also, Radio Silence is such a better name than the Rough Rider.
It is, yeah. Cool storyline stuff here. We got a heel turn, so now Mickie Chelsea will go at it. That'll probably be the Rebellion match. Matt Cardona, adds to his legendary run right now, with things that he's doing, in wrestling. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. So, but they're definitely starting to pick up steam. So if you're not watching Impact, of course, we give you updates here every week what happened. But, start checking that out, man. It's good stuff. So that's going to do it for the recap, man. We had a lot to cover there. So now it's time to get to the Dropkick discussion of the week.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening
to
the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and HBK.
All right, the Dropkick discussion of the week. This week, it's the last one of March, boys. We've been covering famous WrestleMania matches, and this one right here is no different. This is HBK versus The Undertaker from WrestleMania 26. This is the rematch, March 28, 2010, at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Roughly 72,000 people there for this big, huge main event. Pay-per-view buys were roughly under a million, and this was dubbed the streak versus the career once again. So Could get so this one was really interesting. This was, like I said, the rematch from the year before. Taker had beat Shawn at Mania 25 to go 17-0. He was looking to go 18-0 here. This was a big storyline that showed basically Shawn would stop at nothing to get this rematch. He felt that he made one mistake in that first match and that all he had to do was just not make that mistake in the second match and he could beat him. Well, Taker would end up granting him the rematch on the stipulation that if Undertaker beat him again, he would have to retire. Shawn accepts. We got a match at WrestleMania, main event. Another great intro video to the match right before, telling the story of the year-long rivalry of Shawn, saying, the year of the match before, that he was perfect. He had only made one mistake, and the Undertaker capitalized on that mistake. So, all right, so I mean, right here, these entrances, Shawn comes in, famous entrance. Shawn's 45 years old here. I think Taker is too. So
that surprises me.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the crowd has already sat through 9 matches going into this match. So they're a little lull to start here. And, a little grim. So Taker's gong hits. You hear a small roar from the crowd. It's kind of like, But
yay, 10-minute intro.
So the main event starting. I don't know, but either way. So Taker's gong hits. You hear a small roar, and Taker enters through the floor of the stage as a laser light shines on top of him. The legendary music plays. Fire, smoke covers the entrance ramp. Undertaker's entrance was right at 4 minutes from the time the gong hit to when the bell started. So not too bad. This
actually wasn't that long. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
3:58. I mean, it was sprinting by Taker's standards.
I always like to record to see where he's at on this particular
3:58 is when I clocked it at.
There you go. Yeah. So we're right at it. So they go face to face. Shawn gives Taker the throat slash, and it looks like it pisses Taker off before the bell even starts. So, all right, boys, we're about to ring the bell and get this match started, man. So tell me, reactions, what you've seen here on entrances up to the bell ringing.
Primo?
So, like you mentioned, career versus streak. So, it's just, we'll get to it, but HBK's career versus the oh-so-famous streak. My favorite part of the promo video, though, is all of HBK's career highlights that they threw in there. And I just wrote down specifically for us here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, we should do an HBK month for a Dropkick Discussion. We're a month of his best matches.
Sure, plenty of
I would love that.
Do you prefer hooded Undertaker or hat Undertaker?
Hat
Undertaker, same, yes. And that's all I have before the match.
Hood's like a secondary logo.
Right, alternate attire.
Yeah.
So I have, well, first the dome looks cool. Like when they're flying with the helicopter over it and you see down, I'm like, that's a really cool shot. My boy Matt Stryker is on commentary. He will annoy me to tears.
Yep. Forgot to say that. Cole, Lawler, and Stryker.
Yeah. I love during the video package, which WWE still does the best. I love the Bravehearty type music that they were playing throughout the whole thing. Give a real sense of gravity to it.
Yep.
And it really was. It was an amazing build. This is them doing storytelling at their finest. And you get the sense that there's real stakes involved because, it's the streak versus career. And these two absolute legends. And I know that this is going to be kind of a hot take. And before you guys start yelling at me, I know how iconic Shawn Michaels' entrance music is. It is. It's iconic. It's one of the most well-known of all time. It fucking sucks. His entrance music is terrible.
Why? Because he sings it? Is that why?
And it's just dumb. It's just dumb. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy.
I think it's era specific, and it got so iconic that he had to keep it, right?
Okay, I'll agree with that statement. He kind of backed
that song kind of made him. And
he knows he's not a sexy boy anymore. Okay,
right.
I'm not your boy, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah.
However,
okay, I get it.
It is
Some
iconic.
say Sean's overrated. That's absurd.
Wait, who said Sean's jet?
Yeah,
that's
overrated. But anyway,
that is just
all right.
empirically false.
It is.
What else do I have for this? Oh, the Taker sprints to the ring because again, it's like 3:58, and yeah, that's what I got for the entrance.
Okay.
Before
all right. So
bell starts.
Yeah. So Primo, did you give your opinion?
Yeah, I did. There was only one other thing I didn't say.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
I accidentally put it, or two things actually. One was, how the fuck did Stryker manage to get on commentary panel for this?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
And then apparently nothing compares to the streak. They treat the streak from this wrestling show like it's better, like it's better than the damn Lombardi Trophy or the Stanley Cup, dude. Like they treat this streak like it is the best fucking thing in the world.
They also
don't get me wrong, it's cool, but yeah,
it is. But they also compare it to like DiMaggio's hitting streak and like
I'm like, come on, man, you're reaching.
Right.
There is one cool thing that Matt Stryker says during this, even though I right after I put "Shut Up, Stryker."
I put that a lot of minutes.
So did I. He mentions that there are 10 former champions that Taker has beaten during his streak, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's okay. That's cool.
But
that's all I have.
Shut up, Stryker.
All right. So let's talk about the match here. Fast start. Both these guys go to their stuff early. Taker gets in an old school, looks to sell a little bit of a tweaked knee that he hurt on the attempt of the old school. So we got attempted tombstones, choke slams, sweet chin musics. I actually got tired of writing sweet chin music. There were so many. Yeah. So I just started writing super kick because it was shorter in my notes because there was that many throughout the match. But yeah, so lots of attempts by those on both men as Michaels works on Taker's left knee more and more to kind of start the match. He even puts Taker in a figure four at one point and then in ankle lock as well. So the action starts to spill outside. Undertaker gives Shawn a tombstone pile driver outside the ring. Shawn kicks out of a pin attempt back inside. So Shawn misses an elbow off the top rope and then gets caught in a Hell's Gate. Counters that, and then they're going back and forth. The crowd starts to wake up here. These guys are, just great at what they do. So the crowd's starting to wake up here. These two are basically kicking out of each other's gimmicks. Like I said, the tombstones and pile drivers and all that stuff. But, very going furiously fast for these guys to be 45. You kind of tell they really wanted to put on a show. So they're kicking out of each other's stuff, including a huge last ride that Taker lands on Shawn. How I always like to say, it looks like he had him up by his socks. You know what I mean? Like he throws him up
way up there.
Yeah, big one, man. So that one happens. Back outside they go after this. Another last ride attempt ends up into a super kick, sweet chin music, to the Undertaker that lays him on the announcer's table. And as he's laying there, Shawn goes up on the post of the ring and does a beautiful moonsault on Taker, and they both, which collapses the table. They both end up getting back in the ring. Taker takes probably, I think, about the 25th sweet chin music in a row from Shawn, and they start the kick out at 2 here. So he kicks out at 2. Next sweet chin music leads to a choke slam from The Undertaker, and then another tombstone, and Shawn kicks out at 2. So they're basically telling the same story to me here as, they're getting their shit inside the ring, and, and outside the ring, they're, Undertaker, when they went out first time, had his stuff in. The second time when they went out, Shawn's getting his stuff in. So it's a good match because we're seeing all their stuff and, and Shawn's working the knee, and that kind of stuff. So, it's good in that, in that right. So up to this point, when we get to the finish here, boys, what do you guys got?
So that one point at the beginning there, Undertaker comes down wrong on his knee and King goes, look it looks like Undertaker came down wrong on that knee. Like he immediately draws attention to it. And Cole's like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. Look at this choke slam his hips.
Right.
Then, so we're going all the way to the finish here.
Yeah, just when the finish. I didn't read the actual finish. It's just up to the finish.
Yeah, I told him, they talk about HBK's back. They say Taker knows about it all too well, but they never mentioned that it was in the match with Taker where Shawn hit his back on the casket.
Right. Yeah, they didn't.
Shawn Michaels does a kip up. Undertaker immediately says, "Not in my house," and choke slam him. Like immediately. HBK in this match uses the figure four and the ankle lock. I know like the whole story here, he's chopping down the legs of Taker, but also could it be a couple callbacks from some of his greatest WrestleMania matches?
True.
From Ric Flair and Kurt Angle. I put here, yes. One of the many times I said, "Shut up, Striker," because he said, "I've been locked in this hold." And just anytime
shut up, Striker.
Striker said, I've had this happen to me, or I've been locked in this hold, I put, "Shut up, Striker. Stop making it about you. It has nothing to do with you." The Tombstone is honestly got to be one of the best finishes to receive. It doesn't actually hurt, and you get to just lay there afterwards.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, you spend a little bit of time with a nose in your gooch.
Yeah, I mean, just for a little bit. You get to sniff a little Funk Factory.
Just a quick, yeah. Just a quick.
Yeah, a little gooch sniff, and you're on your way.
And then they said, so Shawn Michaels comes down for the elbow drop, and Undertaker blocks with his legs, his knees, or his shins. And they said that it would hurt his legs. I put, why would blocking an elbow drop with one of the hardest bones in your body hurt your legs? You're supposed to be a teacher, Matt Striker. Shut up. And Striker has also been in the Hell's Gate. Shut up. The guy clapping at the barricade, right there, he's like clapping the barricade when HBK was tuning up the band, had me laughing. The last ride was almost as high as the one he gave Matt Hardy and Royal Rumble.
Yes. Yeah. Probably that same one. Yeah.
I asked, why were the Spanish announcers switched during this particular WrestleMania? Because usually the Spanish announcers on the left. And
for the moonsault spot would be
right, but usually it's their table gets destroyed.
This is true.
And I just put that's the set of Shawn Michaels, the set of balls he has to deliver that moonsault across, to the outside on that table is crazy. I just put, after the table bump, if this was my very first time watching this, I would have thought HBK was going to win right after the table bump and the sweet chin music. And then I put all the crowd eruptions to all the false finishes was awesome because the crowd was so locked in. And that's all I have up to that point.
So I have the start was a fun back and forth, and obviously Shawn starts working the knee. And why can't they call it a DQ? Like, they never once call it a no disqualification match. It was always, they must win by pinfall or submission. Must win by pinfall. It's like, just call it a DQ. Yeah. My first shut up Striker moment when Matt Striker is like, "Oh, Taker is the best striker in the business, and no one disagrees." And I wrote, "I can, Striker. I can disagree. Shut up, Striker." Because he's clearly not. Like, Ken Shamrock is a better striker.
Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman is a better striker. Brock Lesnar is a better striker. Like,
Matt Riddle.
I get that that's his thing, but shut up, Striker.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey. Shane McMahon, obviously.
Yep.
So when Shawn goes for the elbow off the top rope and Taker blocks it with his injured leg and he sells it, I kind of like that because one, it sells like the how serious it would have hurt if the elbow would have hit Taker normally. But at the same time, I do agree with you. Like, it's an elbow to the shin. I mean, it probably hurts a little bit, but I don't know. But I did like the psychology that he sold it. So at this point is when I'm like, wow, okay, the piss break match really did its job because the crowd is up and they're wild for anything at this point. They're so into this match at this point.
Yep.
So I'm like, this is good job piss break match. You did your job well. And then I got mad at the Slim Jims because again, there's Slim Jims all over the place. Slim Jim WrestleMania. I will say that this is my favorite moonsault in history. He misses it by just a little bit. Like, he kind of lands on Taker's legs a little bit. But I agree, like, the balls to do that, especially when you're 45 years old. Like, Dirty, can you imagine standing up on a top rope? And
just doing a backflip and landing about 10 feet that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
not. Remind me to do that next time.
Yes, we'll set up a table for you.
We can get up there, yeah.
And then Matt Stryker, this is my biggest shut up moment, and I include Jerry Lawler in this, is after Shawn hits one of 50 Sweet Chin Musics, and he goes for the pin, and both of them are like, "Oh, this is it. This is the end of the streak. Streak's over." And then Taker kicks out at 2 and 2 3/4. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you idiots! Like, why are you doing that? I hate it when announcers do it. It fucking drives me insane. Michael Cole was far and away the best announcer in this match because he didn't do shit like that. Oh, that's it. Shawn Michaels' career's over. He's never kicked it out. Oh, he's passing out right now. He's already passed out. It's over. Just ring the bell. Shut the fuck up. I got so mad. And that's what I have up until the end.
All right, let's get to the finish here. Wrap this thing up. The crowd is starting to go crazy here. Undertaker is standing over Shawn as he starts to wake up. He pulls himself up on Undertaker's boots and tights. And, Taker tells him to stay down. You see the famous Shawn crawling up. Undertaker's telling him to stay down. Shawn gets to his knees and gives Taker the throat slash and then smacks the Undertaker. He gets pissed, grabs Shawn, and gives him, number 20 tombstone pile drivers to finally get the 1, 2, 3. Undertaker wins the rematch. He goes to 18-0. Taker wins. They embrace. Shawn reacts, or Undertaker leaves, so Shawn reacts with the fans. Kind of gives his wave goodbye. And I'll go ahead and put this in there. Is all I had for the wrap up. Is Shawn would show up on the Monday after WrestleMania and officially retire. We know he would come back and wrestle again later, but it was pretty good stuff there, boys. So quickly, let's rate this thing, man. Talk about the finish.
Yeah. So the finish for me, I just put great storytelling at the end. Also, I'm pretty sure because the Undertaker took down the straps before that last tombstone. Whenever he picked up for the last tombstone, I'm pretty sure Shawn Michaels. Oh no, it was whenever Shawn Michaels was clawing back up, and he had his face in Undertaker's belly button. Yep. I'm pretty sure Shawn Michaels got a whiff of Undertaker's belly button. So other than that, Taker put some stank on that last tombstone.
Yes, he did.
Definitely did.
And then I said he's always good at selling, like the stumbling around after the match. It was so good. When the fireworks went off, I said, well, that's easily about $2,000 worth of fireworks, at least.
Easy. Yeah, easy.
And then I just put, for me, going back to that moment in wrestling, it was, I don't recall particularly what year it was. What was it, 2009?
18. I'm sorry. What did I write down here?
2008?
10.
2010. So anyway, for me, I personally at that time was not ready for HBK to retire. I'm such a big fan of his, but he had such a great career, but no, this was a great match.
So this is one of my favorite endings to a match of all time, just because it kind of encapsulates everything that's so legendary about these two particular performers. You have Taker not wanting to beat up Shawn anymore, just being like, come on, man. Like, you're clearly beat. And then Shawn defiant till the end, like slapping Taker in the face, which pisses Taker off. And then he puts him away for good. I fucking loved it.
He's like, all right, I'm going to put you down for good.
He's like, okay, Shawn. Yeah. Slap me in the face.
Yeah.
I'm going to sniff more gooch. So then I loved Shawn's line. He gets a great ovation. He doesn't draw it out. Like, there's no... crocodile tears or anything. He thanks the fans. And then when he's walking back, shaking hands with people, he says, I'm going to drive my kids nuts in 3 weeks. I thought that was pretty funny. But I loved it. The ending to this match is one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've watched it. We've talked about it. And it's time to rate it, boys. Rate it and debate it. So we've been going, each match, each month, each match, each week, we've been debating top 5, top 10, top 15, 20. Where do you guys put this here quickly, Primo?
Top 10. I say top 10 because it was one of the better matches from Undertaker, and it was HBK's last official, his retirement match. Also, it would have been one of the greatest match of WrestleMania if it wasn't for the year prior. So gotcha. I'd say it was top 10 just due to the historical value, and it was just amazing.
Okay. AJ?
I will go with top 6.
Oh, so
mainly
not
because
5, so it's 6.
It's yeah, because I also agree. I think their match the year prior was actually better, but I like the story in this more, and I love the ending in this more. So yeah, gotcha. I'm gonna say top 6 matches of all time. I love this match so much.
Yeah, I liked it too. I couldn't go top 10 with it, and top 20 was too high. So I'm gonna stick at top 15. The match the year before, I think, is better and higher than this one. But this one, I think, I'm going to stick top 15. Told a lot of stories. They got their stuff in. It was a great main event. A Shawn Michaels, one of the best ever. He's on a lot of people's Mount Rushmores. You know what I mean? So, top 15 is where I'm going to stay on that. So, well, that was fun, boys. That is our last famous Mania match for the month of March. Next week, we get started with the month of April. We're going to be talking about famous NWA and WCW matches. And we're going to kick it off, boys, next week with Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat from the Chi-Town Rumble in 1989. So,
good year.
So that's going to be a good one, man. So looking forward to that. So that's going to do it for the drop. Yeah. So that's going to do it for the Dropkick discussion for this week. It's time to head on now to our interview for this week.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks, and you're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast with Primo, DD, and AJ.
All right, today's interview, our last interview of the month. We brought you 5 different interviews as promised. This is the 5th one of the month. This one I had a lot of fun with. This guy's been wrestling for the promotion that me and AJ work for, Iron Spirit Pro, for quite a while. And he is on a ton of other promotions in the Midwest. Sabotage Sean Logan. You're going to love this guy after you hear this interview, man. He is as hungry as they come. He wants it all in the business. He wants to learn the right way. Primo, man, like we talked about, man, this guy is everything you want to see in a up and young coming wrestler, right?
I'm not going to spoil it, but just make sure you keep your ears peeled for whenever he talks about his origin story, really, his wrestling origin story. It is awesome. I was just very excited listening to it, and it's so cool. It just really is cool. And he was a great guy to talk to. Can't wait to have him back on the show. We definitely will have him back on. And he's an overall good guy and good conversation.
Yep. All right, let's get to it. Here's our conversation with Sabotage Sean Logan. All right, our guest today, he's starting to be all over the Midwest wrestling scene and beyond. You've probably seen this guy, Iron Spirit Pro, AAW, Glory Pro Wrestling, Golly Lucha, World League Wrestling, and he's one of the brightest up-and-comers in the game today. Welcome to the pod for the first time, Sabotage Sean Logan. What's up, brother?
Dang, well, thank you for that. You don't have to hype me up like that.
Like I say,
I feel like a legend now.
It's my thing, man. It's my thing.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for being on. We're glad to have you. Can't wait to have this talk with you. Dirty's had a lot to say.
Yeah, ready to talk some wrestling, whatever you guys throw at me, I'm ready.
All right, man. Well, let's go, man. Tell the world about you, Sabotage Sean Logan. Where are you from, man? And, kind of where'd you get the roots of wrestling started?
So let's see. So I'm from St. Louis. I was born St. Louis, Missouri. And we moved up here, up in Northern Illinois. Then, pretty much it started when I was 12. Well, okay, let me backtrack because when I was 7 is the first time I ever got introduced to wrestling. I saw a match of Undertaker and I just like fell in. I was like, oh my God, this guy's the man. And Undertaker's been my guy ever since. Nice. So, you know, I just kept watching it. And then when I was 12, like, I was telling my parents, like, this is my dream, you know, and thankfully I got parents that are very supportive because when I was 12 years old, me and my dad, we put our money into getting a 12x12 wrestling ring for the backyard. But we had like a carriage house, so we stored it in the carriage house, kind of like just old school garage thing. And so my dad's friend's wife's co-worker at the time was an indie wrestler named Tony Rican, and so you know we all had connections, and so we made the connection to have Tony train me on the indie. Well, he's an indie wrestler at the time, but had me train every weekend. I think I trained every Saturday when I was 12, and so Tony would come out and it taught me a lot of basic stuff and all that. And we did that for about a good year, but let's see. So like I definitely too small and too young and too green to, you know, actually wrestle. So for sure, he'd take me to these indie shows that he'd go to. And he took me to a place called Dreamwave Wrestling. That was the first indie show I ever went to. And you might be familiar with it because for sure, I feel like a lot of the local guys are there, but I saw that and I was like, what the heck? Like there's more than just, you know, the TV stuff, you know?
Yeah, I was like, what's going on in my backyard, man? Like,
yeah. So he took me there, and then he took me to a couple of places in Indiana, and we came up with the idea, like, you can't wrestle yet, so let's have you start refereeing. So when I was 12, I started refereeing, and I was just this tiny, you know, kid compared to and the referees, you know, you always want kind of the smaller guy. And at the time it worked out because these wrestlers were like huge. And I'm just this kid refereeing the matches. So I did that for about 3 years in Indiana and refereed just a bunch of a lot lower shows for sure. But it was a way to get my foot in the door. And, you know, I did some seminars. I remember they brought like Rhino, Abyss, Al Snow, so I was able to do some seminars too. And then when I was 16, that's when I had my first ever match. And I kind of like I stopped training with Tony by then. We kind of just, you know, not separate in a bad way, but we just, you know, parted ways. And so I got opportunity to wrestle in Indiana, and I wrestled under a hood with a mask, and I was called El Muchacho. And so
El Muchacho,
yeah, I love it. I love
the
that.
The guy I wrestled, his name was Austin Theory, not Theory, but Austin Theory. Right. And he actually passed away this past year, but and he was I think he was my age, 22 or so, but but he came out with the name El Muchacho just spot on. I was like, okay, whatever, you know. I'm nervous, and I gotta just do this match.
You're like, I don't care, whatever. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, just let's get something. So we go out there, have the match, and then for about 2 solid years, I started just continuing wrestling. I think every month, like once a month in Indiana, maybe twice sometimes, but it was during school, you know, and I know some like wrestling, like high school wrestling and football, like those schedules always worked out for like wrestling. I never had to do anything on a Saturday, but I remember I did baseball like one year, and I was awful at baseball, and I just wanted to get a triathlete t-shirt, but I know I'd miss so many tournaments on like Saturdays just to go to wrestling shows and whatnot.
Right.
But so I did El Muchacho for about till I graduated high school. And then instead of going to college, I told my parents, who are the best because they let me do this, but I told them instead of going to college, you know, I'd really like to go to professional wrestling school. And of course, like my brother and my sister, they're older. I'm the youngest. and they both went to college, tried it, and both kind of like dropped out of it. And so they definitely thought, my parents definitely thought I'd be the one to, actually do college. They're like, oh, you're gonna actually, go there, 4 years, do the thing. And I'm like, well, I want to be a wrestler, So they were like, okay, I understand. So they paid for Harley Race's school. So I trained at Harley Race Wrestling Academy.
Awesome.
And then
legend.
Yeah. I was one of his last classes, actually.
Yeah. I was thinking you probably had to have been. Yeah.
What year was that?
So I went, let's see, I think it was September 2018. And then I carried that on. I want to say the training, it might have been the summer to the end of the year of 2018. And then 2019, January 1st is when I started Black and Brave. And that's when I trained with Seth Rollins, Merrick Brave. And then there's a third guy. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a guy named Crotch, but he's like their third. They want to have an active wrestler that is also training.
Yeah, I've heard the name. Yeah.
So he's there as well. And then Harley's was Harley Race, and then Leland Race's son. So I started training there, and then got a lot better, understood what wrestling actually was,
Sure.
And honestly,
and you got like we talked about, you got old school and new school. You got Harley's, and then you got Seth's too, and
yeah, definitely two different kinds of trainings for sure. Like they're definitely different. I think maybe Black and Brave was a little more helpful just because of the more modern day of what you have to adapt to nowadays. So I was able, they gave me, a starting platform for what I'm about to walk into, So
yeah, definitely.
But both are awesome, and I learned so much and had so much fun doing that. And then honestly, after I graduated Black and Brave, I feel like I've kind of just the last 3 years I've been, pedal to the metal. But really, like this last year, I've been really hardcore, I think, because I'd say
I've seen you more and more a lot of shows. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And I would say because 2019 was a good year, gave my understanding what I have to do to actually be a wrestler. And then of course COVID happened, and then that was kind of like oh my god, like I have nothing to back up on, and like this is what if like things never. Oh, obviously I was obviously thinking things would open back up, but I was just like, dude, like I can't be wrestling for 5 months right now, So that was definitely interesting. But since everything's been lifting back up, I think this last 2 years, maybe year and a half, I really feel like I just understood the process of what needs to be done to make it to the top. And, I don't think there's any right or wrong way, but it's kind of like in a match when, they say if you don't know anything or don't know what you're doing, at least do what you know as hardcore as possible.
Right. Yeah.
You're trying. So like my way to get to the top, if it's right or wrong, but I really do believe that like, you go, to a promotion, you meet the promoter, you tell them who you are, you shake their hand, set up their ring, and, you gotta, even if first of all, you gotta drive wherever it is, and some people don't want to drive not knowing that there's nothing out of this if you drive somewhere and you're going to come back and not even wrestle.
Sure.
But so you'll make the drive, go to the promotion, meet the promoter, set up that ring, and, you help whatever they need to be helped with. And you stay to tear down that ring, and, you try to be the last one to leave and make that drive back. And sometimes you're not going to get on pre-show, and you're not going to get a match, or you're not going to get booked,
Sure.
And sometimes maybe you're not invited back. I don't know, but
yeah. And I can vouch for Sean too. He's one of the last guys to leave Iron Spirit Pro. He helps us put the ring up when we're done. All that kind of stuff. So I can vouch, man. I love your positivity, man. Love your attitude towards the business. I can generally tell, you love it, man, and have that hunger for it. So go ahead, Primo.
I just want to say, dude, first of all, that was one of the coolest stories, like that whole thing. And how freaking cool are your parents to like support you that young. Like, if my 10-year, I have a 10-year-old. He tells me all the time he wants to be a gamer and a YouTuber, but I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, that's cool, but 12 years old and they bought you a ring. Like, that's insane, man.
It's absolutely nuts because I'm definitely grateful as can be, because at the end of the day, I think the big thing is that they believed in me before I even believed in myself.
Right.
And,
sure.
That's kind of the craziest thing that, like, for real, because, like, there's been, obviously this journey, you got to stick through it because so many people, they do the grind and then they give up, and there's so many ups and downs. And, I always try to stay as positive as possible, but there's always going to be doubt. And I kind of just tell myself it's okay to have doubt, but you gotta brush that off right away, though, and it's just part of the process. And that's kind of something that's like, it's so frustrating sometimes, but there's ups and downs in this path to go to the top. And it's crazy that they're even behind that before I even started it. So,
it's crazy that, like, no matter how far you take this, right, you'll always be able to look back at your beginnings and be like, they were supportive. And, because there's a lot of I'd say most wrestlers that come up, they get looked at like they're crazy when they tell their parents. So,
no, for sure. And I think something too, like, there's something I say, and it's like, because I've heard a lot of wrestlers were like, okay, well, my parents were behind us, but they maybe go to college and get a degree.
Right.
They have someone to fall back.
Have like a plan B. Yeah.
And like the plan B thing, I've always kind of just like thought to myself, I'm like, yes, you could have a plan B and go work on a backup plan. But the second I do that is that I'm not 100% all in on plan A. And
I've heard that mindset before. That makes sense too.
Yeah. So, there's never a right or wrong answer, but it's definitely just how your mindset is and stuff. So, but they didn't let me have to have a plan B. So I better go all in on plan A.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Sean. So you're a student of the game, man. I see you posting videos of you watching matches all the time. Give me a couple guys that you really take a lot from their matches. That really influence you, that you've watched from one of the older eras.
Oh man, yeah. So, well, Undertaker is my number one, but I feel like hopefully I get to that point where like I could actually study him more, but like, he's the only wrestler that I watch and still watch because as a fan, I feel like I'm still invested in these matches that he does. Like, hopefully he doesn't lose, and that's like so crazy. But everyone else I can watch, but he was just my guy growing up. So like, I can't study him right for some reason. But lately, I think the last couple months, dude, like Bret Hart is just the man. And like, I feel like I've been doing a thing where I would watch, I watch a Bret Hart match right before I get to my show. And I feel like I'm just a better wrestler or put on a better match because of that. Or and another guy is, of course, I didn't watch a lot of Shawn Michaels when I first started. I didn't really, I don't know what it was. I didn't care to watch him. He just wasn't one of my guys. But like now, like I watch him and the stuff he does is just like insane. And I just feel like I learned so much off of watching him. So Bret and Shawn is just probably the two I'm going. And as of this moment, definitely, I'm just always watching them. Like I feel like they just know how to wrestle so well,
Right. So Sean, tell me, man, you're posting the pics of the green beans and hamburger. You're in that deep grind, not just in the weight room in the ring. You're also eating vegetables and the meats. What's the diet like? I mean, are you basically eating that all the time? What's Sean eating? Just basically that kind of stuff.
So it's legit. Probably it's that. So I eat ground beef, and I always have green beans. It's a bag of frozen green beans with it as the carbs. And I started really getting the fitness. I always knew I think I had to have a physique for this when I started. But then like when COVID happened and maybe 2 months in, I was like, okay, like it's time to actually get this legit. And I don't have on my door, but I put April 2020. I put 3 pictures of Triple H on my door.
Nice.
And it was my favorite, he's my favorite physique. And I was just like, that's the goal, and
Right. Yeah.
there's definitely been some different paths to this and lots of learning about, the body and how to work out properly and eat properly. So right now I'm currently on a bulk, and my goal is to get to 250 pounds and then I'll cut. So I've never been past, 220 in my life. So
yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. But I started this specific diet at 193. So we're 219 pounds today. So, it's crazy, but the ground beef and green beans are 6 times a day. Then you got 10 ounces of beef per meal. And it's roughly about 4 cups of green beans per meal. So it's a lot of calories. And
it is.
That's definitely, I'm trying to be the best at wrestling, but like, that's a whole nother lifestyle in itself, and
yeah.
I think
commitment.
Yeah. Go on. Yeah, you're good. But
no, I was just going to say that's a commitment, on top of the working out, the wrestling, and on top of it,
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I don't know, my buddy Robbie said it best. And I think it's something that always stuck to me was like, he said, like, be a top guy. All the top guys always have 3 things. It's like the in-ring ability, the physique, and then the mic, the able to talk, the gift of gab. And, so I'm always, trying, I have always getting bookings or training in the ring, as much as possible. So I'm always working on the ring stuff, and then the diet and the working out for the physique. That's like every day too.
Sure.
And then I even started, my dad got me for my birthday, improv classes. So I just started recently this last 2 weeks doing improv. I'm hoping maybe it pulls something out of the character more, or even just be able to talk on the fly.
It's more ad-libbing.
Yeah. So I'm actually at first class, I was so nervous, but dude, I was like, this is in my head. I'm like, this is dumb, like that's what I get. I had to do it, but after that class and the last 3 classes, like it is so much fun, and I just can't believe how much fun I'm having with it. But it's fun, but it's also like it's work that I have to do to get better at wrestling, so it's crazy. Like I feel like I'm always like every day it's like I'm just in my mind trying to get better at this every day. It's like it just doesn't stop,
Yeah. All right. So you wrestled in a lot of different promotions. Tell me real quick, man, I've been to a lot of Black Label Pro shows. How was your debut down there last weekend? How'd you like Crown Point?
That was pretty cool. I helped out there the show before, and I found out the time. I try to make sure I contact like the ring crew guys too. I'm like, hey, when's the ring that get in there? Like I'll show up and start setting up, and so I got there, and then met the guy, and he's like, come back next month, so I tore down and then came back, last week or this weekend, and then so I did, the same method, to the madness. And I got on the first match of the show, and it was a 6-way scramble. And it was a shorter match, but like, I made sure to get something I could possibly get in for him to memorize it, and at least stand out. So, camera guy gimmick, he was there, and he's a photographer around the Midwest area.
Definitely.
And he got a phenomenal shot of my lion salt I did in the match, and I was like, okay, awesome. So
nice.
I hope but he told me to come, the promoter told me to come back, I believe it's the May 1st show. So and they should have something for me there. So that was I'm glad, it's just another one in the books, and it's paying off. A lot of people, like I said, whatever method works, I guess. But a lot of people want to message promoters online and then just send them a match and be like, hey, like, can you book me? And a lot of times they don't get back to you, and then they get upset, but how many wrestlers every day are doing that, like their inboxes are probably so full. So like you legitimately have to show up, and I just see a lot of guys give up because of that, and people I know, they stop going to shows and they're like, I don't believe, and yeah. So like, I don't know what the right answer is, but I know what works for me. I'm going to keep doing it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Another thing, man, you've been doing lately, I want to talk to you about, I go to a lot of AAW shows too. You've been on there lately. You kind of had a little character spot now on there. You're prominent is you're in kind of like a little faction with Johnny Bravo, but your tag team partner is Hartenbauer, and they're still calling you guys the Hartenbauers, I think. I haven't seen the last episode.
Yeah, I believe so.
How's that going with being a tag team with Hartenbauer?
That is going really well. I think it's a great spot. I think it's perfect for me, actually, because there's a lot of great
guy to learn from too, man.
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great talent on that show, and whether I'm ready to wrestle them or not, but they are putting me in a good spot where I have some shorter matches, and I think it's really good for me right now to have that experience to really work. And they gave me something. They gave me a character that could really, because I'm Sabotage, but like I'm still trying to find myself, and that's like the hardest thing ever, And they're giving me a character where I could build off of and really experiment with. And it's little, it's smaller matches that are 5-6 minute, sometimes 8 minute, but like I can really play around in front of a really great crowd, and really great production too, and
absolutely
really test the waters of what other character stuff I could do, and I'm really liking that for sure. And then I also got I did, because there's a bunch of, they got me doing 3-4 promos every show now, just backstage stuff.
Yeah, so that helps.
They're not having me cut full on promos, but they're having me do little clips and talking a little bit, and it's like perfect for really learning. It's a great learning experience. I'm really proud of what I earned, because there was a lot of shows I helped out there to get in there. I'm really happy of what they're doing with me, and really appreciate it.
Oh, definitely, man. I got another question for you, man. I'm gonna send you Primo here for a few questions, but last time you were at Iron Spirit Pro, you had a little bit of success. You're in a tag team called 815 with Gunner Brave. Tell everybody real fast, why is it called 815 if they don't know?
We are both from the 815 area code.
Okay, there you go.
So that is why.
Everybody like, what do call it? Say, okay, so so you guys just defeated Cornboy and Rip Studwell in a tag team match last week. And there's some rumblings that there might be some Iron Spirit Pro tag team titles possibly on the horizon here, Sean. You know, you and I think you and the Lowlifes would be a fantastic. You guys and Lowlifes is my personal vote. Would be an awesome a tag team match to see who's going to take that home. You guys have both been very prominent lately. No discredit to any other tag team out there. That's just my personal vote. But what do you think, man? Is that a possibility? 815 being Iron Spirit Pro tag champs possibly in the future?
I think it is a possibility, because me and Gunner, we definitely not grew up together, but we grew up in the training together. And what the experience we have from Black and Brave, I think that's our bond that we grew, like we trained together. We were both in class 14, and we were one of the only ones to stick it out. We had 16 members, and it came down to 3 of us, and we all graduated. And I think that's the bond that me and Gunner's got. We don't tag team at a whole lot of places, but I think if Iron Spirit is looking to have a tag team title match, I think we got to be a tag team to be in that mix for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, Primo, you got some questions for him here, man. Take it away.
Yeah, man. Let's go outside the ring for just about. I got 3 quick questions here. Depending on how long Dirty's wants to get back to it, but first off, for the pod here, Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris?
Oh man. I would have to say Chuck Norris for sure.
My man. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Next up, pancakes or waffles?
I would have to say waffles.
Oh,
I'm a big waffle
yes. Yeah, man. That's we've been getting a lot of pancake fans lately, so waffles is a good answer
Now,
in my book.
Now, do you put butter on your pancakes or waffles?
Both, yes.
Okay, I never put butter on them. So
I actually had some this morning with butter on them.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Sorry, man. Well, yeah, waffles.
So our other host AJ puts peanut butter on his pancakes.
Okay. Peanut butter on pancakes. All right.
Yeah. If someone were to write a biography about you, what would the title be?
Man, biography about me. I would put The Grind.
For sure. I feel that, man.
I feel like
green beans and burgers.
Yeah. I feel
Grind.
Like, I don't think I'm talented in any aspect or the best at any aspect, but I plan on being the best at everything at one point. I think putting in the hard work is truly how I truly believe that if you could really truly work hard enough that you could really get to the top of anything. And I think The Grind would be the story of my life because I'm not talented at anything, but I'm going to work to the fullest to get there.
I feel you on that, man. I appreciate you answering those questions. What else you got for him, Dirty?
So I got some questions for you here, Sean, before we let you go today, man. I want to talk about a few things with you. So just some quick answer questions, man. So you're an Undertaker fan, but who's the GOAT to you?
Like, you want just one, or do you guys do like a Mount Rushmore?
Yeah. Nah, I just want like who is the A1 like to you?
Man, okay. So I'll answer that. So like like you said, my favorite is Undertaker, but I think what the world might believe, or maybe just worldwide, what I think is probably Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
But that's
fair enough. Fair enough.
I think it's a decent one.
As good as any. Yes, as good as any. So, Sean, what's the one place, one arena, one place, Tokyo Dome, 2300 Arena, Hammerstein, Cowboy Stadium, shit, I don't know. Which one, what's the one place you want to wrestle at before you're done with your career to feel like you really made it? Like that one, like, what's the Emerald City to you? You know what I mean? Like,
man. Yeah, I feel like the Garden is always,
good
that's
answer.
kind of cliche, I feel, but I feel like Madison Square Garden would be awesome.
It's the Mecca.
Yeah. It's just like, imagine having a wrestling match and say I wrestled there, like with whatever promotion, And I just think if there's a wrestling ring in that building and I had a match there, I think that just would be nuts.
Right. Yeah. All right, so
but maybe All-State Arena as well, because that was like the arena I grew up at, watching these shows. So I think that'd be a very cool one too.
Yeah, it would be. You're going to do that one, man, for sure. So tell me, man, who's winning this weekend, dude? Roman or Brock?
Oh gosh, dude, I'd put my money on Roman Reigns for sure.
Good answer.
I mean, he beat Undertaker. So, at Mania, I was at that Mania too. And of course, I was there. Undertaker loses to Roman. And I actually have a picture above here. It's me meeting Undertaker when I was 15. And I hate it because I'm wearing a Roman Reigns shirt in the picture. And, it's great. The worst thing ever. But so
you make up for it with the Winged Eagle belt over your shoulder there on the wall. Ain't that what it is? The Winged Eagle belt?
Yes. The best belt, I think.
Nice.
Is that your guys' favorite belt design?
Mine is actually the NWA TV title, personally.
Okay.
Yeah. I go back, but I told you where my dad, comes from and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my, I think Primo's is the
black undisputed from the like 03 or 04.
Okay, like Les. Yeah, I was watching that because I was trying to think. I just watched that the other day. I was like,
that
I
old
remember
undisputed title.
Yeah, Triple H had both belts. I was like, did he ever actually hold the undisputed belt? And I found a match where he had it, and I was like,
right,
wow.
yeah. It was
like
during that time, yeah.
I had to switch. I don't know who did it actually switch with. Like, was that Lesnar or? I don't. I just remember like.
Good question.
Yeah, I don't remember which one came after that or not. I don't know. Yeah,
I
maybe
never
it
knew
was because I know The Rock had it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But hey, Sean, so you're wrestling on the indies right now, man. Who's the guy you want to wrestle right now? Like what's the one name you want to wrestle here? Hopefully, soon that you hadn't got to wrestle with yet.
Oh man, I think the one guy I always see him at my shows, and I just like I looked up to him because like he's got a great physique and he's always just like he's always over, but his name's Jake something. I always see him.
Oh God,
something!
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that guy, I always see him at every show I go to. Yeah. I'm like, man, I would like to have a match with him.
Dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, Primo stood next to him one time.
That's right.
He was at an AEW. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So that'd be awesome, man. Good answer too. I like that. So another thing too, I want to ask you too. You've been on a lot of cards, and a lot of these cards have like legends on them or whatever. What's the one time you were on a card with somebody that you really marked out for? Like, holy shit, I'm gonna be on the same card as Ricky Morton, or you know what I mean? Or, like somebody.
Yeah,
legend,
that's a great question. I don't know. I definitely thought. Well, let's see. I think. Well, the first thing that came to my head when he said that was when I first went to Black and Brave and I saw Rollins. Like we had a day 0, and it was like pretty much the conditioning test that like you just go insane. And I remember, there was WWE cameras that like came up. I don't know, they're recording something on the network at the time, and I just see Rollins walk in. I'm like, what the heck? Like that's I'm having to do a bunch of burpees. I'm like, this is awful, but like I'm like, that's actually him. But I think that I think another time I wasn't on the card, but it was last year, and I went down to Florida to help out at GCW for all 3 days of the collective, and I remember it was not Ambrose, Moxley. He came out and like I didn't even see him in the locker room, but like when he came out, I was just like, wow, like that's actually him, like I was like, that's crazy. But man, I wish I had a better answer off the top of my head right now for that.
That's okay though.
Like
that's okay.
Yeah.
Cool experiences.
So many probably it's hard to choose from. All right, so a couple last things I want to talk to you, man. What's your favorite match to watch? Like the one to throw on that it might be your favorite of all time. Maybe put it on the background because every move is going to happen, and but man, okay. What's your one go-to?
That's okay. I have like an actual answer and then I have like another answer, but so like anytime I'm just chilling, for some reason I love watching old NWA and like just throw it on the background, and there's just like it's a bunch of like these squash matches, and then like there's always like one like main event match that actually is like long, but I love like I don't know why I love having that in the background. But for an actual match, you guys said the other one, but it's Taker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. I watched that and I just like, wow, like that's nuts, So, but maybe I should start watching the WrestleMania 26 one too.
Yeah, that's the one that we covering earlier in the pod. So yeah, but very, very good quality choice there for sure. So a couple last things here, Sean. I think you're, like I said, I'm, not blowing smoke. We talked about this earlier, man. You got the grind, you got the hunger, man. I think you're one of those guys that just really has it. Like, I've seen a lot of wrestlers in my day, man. And, I think you're going to be one of those guys when it's all said and done, man. So just, want to thank you for your time today. Thanks for coming on the pod, man. Keep going at it, and we really appreciate being on. But one of the last things I want to talk to you about, man, is when I see
thank
you
you for that as well.
Oh, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. When I see you at Iron Spirit Pro shows, I always give you shit. You probably get this from somebody too, or maybe I'm the only dork that does it. You have your luggage, right? It looks like a Money in the Bank briefcase, kind of, right? Because it's green and it's like, what's it got, like a lucha mask on it or something?
It's no, so it legit looks like a green Money in the Bank briefcase.
It does,
It's a old Halliburton briefcase.
Oh, nice.
That my dad got for me, and so he got it painted and with like Sabotage and all this Sean Logan, and even El Muchacho's name is on that. I'm like, why is that on there?
That's awesome.
So when I see it backstage with it, I'm like, man, you gonna cash that thing in or what, man? Let's get this over with, man. Like, cash in on Brubaker, man. Let's go.
That would be nuts, that'd be nuts. That great, I man. Actually, I remember when I first he got me that because I just got a new gear bag. It was just a regular luggage bag, but and then he's like, no, this is your new gear bag. And I was like, dude, no, like, I'm not, this is not my gear bag, but he spent money to get it painted.
Right.
Like,
so what are you going to do?
I'm like, I have to do it. And now, like, I just embraced it and I like it a lot, so now I think it's cool, but and then I was like, dude, no. But I'll have to show you a picture of it, Primo, for sure.
Yeah, you will, man. Well, Sean, man, we appreciate you taking the time to be on the pod today. Plug your socials here, man, before we go. Your Twitter, your Instagram, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you're wrestling anywhere this weekend because it's Mania weekend coming up. Ain't a whole lot of shows going on. But locally, I'm assuming you might be going down there. So anything you want to plug or whatever you want to do, man, go ahead there, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my socials for everything is at Sabotage Sean, and it's actually spelled correctly, unlike my email.
Sean is S-E-A-N, correct? Not
correct,
S-H-A-W-N.
yes.
Yeah, S-E-A-N.
Yes. So that's all my socials for sure. And then I am actually, as of right now, I'm not going to Texas for Mania.
Okay.
I was really planning on it, and then I had a couple bookings up here. And then they just got canceled, unfortunately. So, I don't know. I had to find out.
It's like this is like bye weekend for indies, isn't it? Like, otherwise, unless you're in the Mania town that it's going on every year, it's like everywhere else just kind of slows down. Like
for sure.
On. So, but
no, you're right about that.
Yeah. Man, it was great to talk to you, brother. I will see you soon, I'm sure, at Iron Spirit Pro or out there on the road at some show or something, man. But keep wrestling your ass off, man. I'm going to get some pictures with you and hook you up with some merch when I see you, brother. And enjoy WrestleMania weekend, dude. Have a good time, man. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, I definitely will. On.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
We'll have to have you on again. You're a great guy to talk to. So for sure we'll have you back.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And I mean, you guys don't stop grinding as well with this,
Appreciate that.
This is your year, you guys said. So I mean, you guys got way more ahead of you. So I appreciate everything, guys, and don't give up.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. All right, Sean. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem. All right.
All right, man. Right there, you heard it, man. He is a hungry, independent wrestler. You're going to see this guy on your TV, whether you like it or not. I mean, you heard me tell him, man. I think this, he's got that it factor to me. I think he's going to be one of the guys, man. Me and AJ always have fun talking to him when he comes down to wrestle at Iron Spirit Pro. This kid's going to be something, man. And I was glad to finally get him on the show here.
He is one of the ones that we always like to kind of search out a little bit so we can say hi, talk to. He's a cool guy.
Yeah. Well, he usually come to us already by the time we get there because, he's just one of those nice guys, man. And always have fun seeing those guys. Him and Gunner both, man, in the 815 tag team. So thank you, Sean Logan, for coming on the pod, man. Check out Sean Logan on all his social medias and check him out on those independent wrestling shows. You're going to see him more and more there. So, all right, it's time to move on to our Champions Draft. All right, we've been working on these virtual promotions now for, I think we're going on like roughly month number 5 or 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're eventually coming up to a tournament that's going to happen sometime in the summer. So today we've been drafting singles, we've been drafting women, we've been drafting tag teams, all kinds of stuff. We got Primo's promotion called the Pretty Good Promotion, my promotion called Hot, the Heels on Top, and AJ's Glue Factory Wrestling. So I won't go over our rosters because we'll go over that later. But today we're going to be drafting our champions draft. Now, any champion in any promotion that is that holds a title is up for grabs today, unless they are already owned by another promotion already. Now, Roman Reigns is the only one that is not draftable here today. So we're all going to be drafting 3 wrestlers just to kind of bulk up our rosters here. So as we move on to bumping up our promotions here. So I think the order goes AJ, Primo, me, I think is where we're at today. AJ is the first one to go first. So AJ, man, you get the first pick, man. What promotion or what champion would you like to select?
Well, we are going with Revolution Pro Wrestling. My first pick is one Mr. Will Ospreay, the current
beautiful
British heavyweight champion.
Beautiful. I like it. And current Warrior Wrestling champion here in Chicago too as well. I mean, that's very good. All right, Primo, you get the second pick.
Second pick, the Pretty Good Wrestling promotion chooses the Impact Digital Media Championship holder, Matt Cardona. No, I'm just kidding. He is the NWA Heavyweight Champion, Matt Cardona.
Very nice. Very nice. Good pick, man. One of the hottest guys in wrestling right now for sure. All right, so I get 2 picks here. So I'm going to go with some pretty popular faces right now in wrestling. My first pick is going to go all the way over from New Japan Wrestling. He is the one and only Okada. Give me Okada with my first pick. I'll take him. Katsuchika Okada is the New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP champion right now. So I'll take him as my first pick. And with my second pick, coming back here a little closer to home, man, I'm going with that Cowboy Shiznit. Give me Adam Page, the AEW champion. I'll take him as my next pick. So as my first pick in round number 2. So AJ, back to you. Primo, back to you for your second pick.
That was a nice pronunciation, by the way.
Hey, I try.
That was good. Yeah,
I practice.
I would have butchered the shit out of that.
Yeah. So I think never mind. You took her already. I was going to take one. Man. How about we go with, you know what? I'll take him. I have MSK, so this would be a good take. Impact champion. He's an X Division champ, Trey Miguel.
Very nice.
Very nice. Reunite with MSK.
Very good. Very good. All right, back to you, AJ, for your last 2 picks. Last 2 picks here.
We're going to go to AEW as well. I think she's still available, but I can't see anyone having taken her already. The AEW Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa.
She is already
Is she gone?
Yeah, she's
on the Pretty Good Wrestling promotion.
Fuck. I was wondering about that. Fine, we'll take...
tag teams are also available. Any champion.
We'll take TBS champ, Jade Cargill.
I believe she's already been taken too. She's on the Heels on Top promotion.
You fucking douchebags. Yeah. Okay, well, in that case, let's go with... I can't take Jurassic Express either because I believe they're already gone. RK Bro, are they still a thing?
No.
You actually have Jurassic Express already.
Yeah, I thought so.
I got RK Bro.
Yeah, RK Bro
is out. You didn't do your homework.
Yeah, I didn't look at these before. We're going to take Brock Lesnar.
I have him.
You know what? I've got a good one. I'm going to take Dan Lambert as the co-TNT champion.
Is that your first pick?
Fuck it, you can have him.
Yes!
That's your first one, right?
Yeah, that's your first one.
And then my second one, fuck, I don't even know who. Just
you got Ricochet, Carmelo Hayes. We got.
We're gonna go with Carmelo Hayes. Actually,
there you go. All right,
Carmelo Hayes.
I wasn't ready to come back to me, honestly. Who is the United States champion right now?
Finn Balor, who is taken.
Finn Balor, who's already taken. Yep.
That's what I thought. Yeah, he's already taken.
Yep.
Oh man!
By the old glue factory.
I'll tell you somebody that you can have that I don't think anybody has. John Moxley's out there. He's the GCW champion, is he not?
That's a good. Well,
I thought about that, but I wasn't sure if he was an actual champ.
I said of getting I believe he is.
All right,
I'm going to take him then. He's on.
I'll trade you Dan Lambert for John Moxley. I forgot that.
I just took John Moxley as my final take for the pretty good wrestling promotion.
There you go. And for me, shoot, I was about to take the Good Brothers, but
I got them.
All right, for me, I'm going to take the MLW World Heavyweight Champion. I'm going with Alex Hammerstone.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
I'm going to take him to kind of bolster up my heavyweight title there.
It was actually kind of hard to pick champions.
Yeah,
it is, but it definitely is. So, yeah, Jonathan Gresham was still out there. Moose was available.
Dana Brooke, the 24/7 champ.
Dana Brooke, yeah. All right, so.
Who is now engaged. Congratulations, Dana Brooke.
The women's tag team champions. Mandy Rose, Toxic Attraction.
So we'll add that to our virtual promotions, and then I think we'll come back. I believe it's in the month of May. I believe we're going to be doing month of June. We're going to be doing our final fill-in our roster, and then we're going to be setting up for a tournament coming up sometime this summer. So that's going to be it for the draft. Now it's time to get to our MMA picks here, boys. All right, AJ. Coming into this week, you were 41-42. Okay. Well, coming into this week, you were 41-42. You were trying to get back to that 500 this week.
Yeah.
All right. So you took Curtis Razor Blades in the main event for the win.
I did.
Did you get it right? Hey!
Yay!
Look at
We're
you.
Back to mediocrity. Yes.
Back to mediocrity. 42-42. And AJ, you're going to have to sit mediocrity because there's no picks this weekend. Apparently, MMA doesn't go up against Mania because
I mean that's a good choice. Yeah, that's a good choice.
Smart.
Yeah, they're going to watch wrestling too. So
they're going to watch real fighting. Yeah.
Don't they know I'm trying to break 500 though? You can't throw on one match. Come on.
Sit on that for a week.
Fucking MMA, get your shit together.
All right, Primo, let's get to your part, man. Let's see if you can help out the gamblers this week. Coming into this week, you were 9-5. You picked Matt Brown to win
the veteran
his fights. Now, I will tell you this: the fight, before I give you the result, the fight was fight of the night. It was a brawl. The fight could have went either way. It went to split decision. I will tell you this: did Primo pick right with Matt Brown?
Uh-oh.
Man, it could have went either way. I watched it, man.
It could have.
It was a brawl.
Split decision. You know, they picked the young guy.
Yeah.
So.
Primo, you're creeping toward mediocrity.
I know. What is this? 9-6?
9-6 is where Primo.
That's still a pretty good record.
It's like a Cowboys record.
Yeah. All right, boys. It's time to close the show. AJ, let them know.
Well, first of all, catch us every Wednesday live right here on the Sit Down Marks YouTube channel. And later on, you can catch the audio versions wherever you get your podcast. We're on there. Go check them out. Also, we would really appreciate it if you gave us a 5-star review if you love the pod. Or, even if you don't love the pod, give us 5 stars anyways. Also, we are on before the
number 1
Thomas Bryce Show, 6:15 on Fridays and replays throughout the week. Also, we have merch featuring this lovely t-shirt right here.
Sporting awesome. 80s tee right now.
80s tee, man.
Retro.
Courtesy of that Primo Silver Fox.
Yes, we have all kinds of designs.
So cool.
We add them occasionally, and by we, I mean Primo.
That graphic one right behind you. Oh, the graphic right behind me too. That's a brand new drop.
Yep, right there. We got that is a T-shirt. That's a T. Like there, you can get whatever you want.
The one right behind Dirty there is a T-shirt as well.
You can get all your favorite Marks merch at tpublic.com/stores/sitdownmarks. That link again is tpublic.com/stores/sitdownmarks.
All right. Primo, new month next week, man. Give us a preview.
Woo! New month, baby. Month of April. I'll give you the preview of next week. Come on in, Marks. Come in close while the champion talks your ear off. Here we go. We're going to kick off the month of April by finding out who on the pod won or retained, most likely retained, the Kurt Angle Trophy from WrestleMania. New month means new Dropkick Discussion topic. In April, we will dive into. I'm excited about this, especially since I'll be taking over NWA soon. So, famous NWA and WCW matches, and we will begin with Flair versus Steamboat from the Chi-Town Rumble 1989. It's a great year. Michael is back to join us next week for Mania reactions and more Undead rankings, which I love. I can't wait for those. And hopefully, we finally get to play Primo's music class, and we've been on hold for a while.
Feeling good. I'm feeling good.
We get to do it. April is going to be a big month for wrestling, and we cannot wait.
Well said. Well said. Before we go home, man, any last notes here? I want to thank Sean Logan for being on the pod. You know, it was cool to get to talk to him, man. Anxious to watch his career progress. You know, hopefully we can maybe have him and Gunner both on later on down the line. And it was really awesome. So thank you, Sean, for being on the pod, man. Support him when you see him out anywhere. Happy WrestleMania weekend, everybody. On a scale of 1 to 10, real quick, boys, what's your excitement for Mania right now?
7.
Yeah, I'll go 7.5. A good solid 7.5.
Yeah, I'll stick right there with you too. I think 7 is good. Like, it's excitement nonetheless.
It's WrestleMania, no matter what.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the base is a 6.
Right.
Yeah, what I say, we're going to be basically watching 21 to 22 matches here this weekend under
2 days of wrestling.
The WWE banner. Yes, it's going to be crazy. So, you guys got any notes here before we go?
I do want to say thank you to A Work in Progress podcast. Go check them out wherever you can also listen to your podcast. They are also our SportsWire brethren. They just recently put out an episode that Primo and I had the pleasure to be on, and those guys
super
are
cool.
Boys, y'all did a good job, man. That was funny.
We had a great time. Those guys are super funny over there. It's a really cool listen. So go check them out. A Work in Progress.
They're our SportsWire part of our SportsWire family.
Yep.
It was very, very fun to be on this show. Also, I do have one other note. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but the Hall of Fame ceremony is actually on Friday as well, and it's right after SmackDown. And obviously, as we've mentioned before, Hall of Fame ceremony. Going to be inducting Undertaker, Vader, Queen Sharmell, and Steiner Brothers.
Right. Well said. Thanks for including that. Honestly, I don't ever watch it live, but I always go back and watch it. So definitely this is one not to miss with the Undertaker. So, all right, boys. Anything else here before we go home? It's WrestleMania weekend, man. I'm excited for it. Let's get this thing underway. But before I let you guys go, man, I want to ask a question here. So, Seth, are you wrestling Cody at WrestleMania this weekend?
Grab them cakes.